Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Alexios here is Monday Moment, and we had a Monday Moment yesterday for our Raptors backup center, Sandro Mamu. That's right. Yeah, we covered this live on the channel yesterday, but I want to do a dedicated stream to the Eurobasket 2025 results of the first round of the tournament because, there's some interesting phenomenons going on with European basketball right now where the old nations of dominance are falling. And all of a sudden, there's secondary countries that have been in basketball kind of okay, but not as good, that are rising up. And games like Finland beating Serbia, Serbia losing to Finland, and then France losing to Georgia yesterday are symbols of this. The fact that Spain didn't even make the 16-team tournament is a symbol of this. And there's teams that are stepping up and taking another step forward. The Canadian team has been taking steps forward in the last few years to be up closer to United States at the top of international basketball. And well, now there's other teams that are making strides because they have more NBA players and they're doing amazing things, like Finland beating Serbia, like Georgia beating France. There's been some upsets. In fact, the field for the second round of the FIBA Eurobasket 2025 is not what you would expect. There's a lot of teams missing that would be in that field normally. Sure, Lithuania made it. They beat Latvia and got into the next round, and they will play Giannis and Greece in the second round. Poland made it, which is kind of crazy. Poland is in the second round of Eurobasket. Poland's never really been a big-time power in European basketballs, but Poland's there. They're going to face Alperen Sengun and Turkey in the second round. That's a big reason why Turkey has emerged, is because of the big man from Houston Rockets, Fred VanVleet's buddy, Alpi. Yeah, Alpi is bringing up the Turkey team and making them better, And then of course, the other matchup is going to be Germany with Dennis Schroeder against Luka Doncic and Slovenia. Luka was enough to beat Italy in the first round. Italy going down to Mr. Doncic and the Slovenia team. So yeah, now the final 8 are set in this Eurobasket tournament, and Sandro Mamu and the Georgian team will face Finland on Wednesday in the next game on the schedule for them. Yeah, Sandro, Goga Geta, another win. That's what I say right there as a Raptors fan. That's right. This is fun, man. Eurobasket's exciting. Eurobasket has had all kinds of fun stuff going on in it. That's right. All right, let me check in with y'all in the comments. Amit's here. I see Amit Gaming 2K is in first in the chat. He's saying, how's everybody doing today? Pretty good. It's a Monday. Had a pretty good weekend. Got to see some of my family this weekend, which was nice to be around uncles and aunts and cousins and that sort family. I don't always see my family all the time, so it was nice to see my family and hang out with them this weekend. Yeah. I'm saying cheering for Georgia now that my team got absolutely embarrassed by Giannis yesterday. Go Mamu. That's right. Yeah, your team. This is what I'm going to say, and I'm not directing it at you because I love you, man. You're good. But you know what? Your country should not be embarrassed about basketball. Your country should be embarrassed about genocide. And honestly, having the privilege to be embarrassed about basketball and losing to Giannis is something in this time and age that honestly, that should be the least of what Israel's thinking about right now. Seriously. Basketball, really? That's just something to confuse and distract away from the absolute war crimes that your country's committing. So I can't say this, man. I'm not surprised. I'm glad Giannis kicked y'all's ass. In some ways, y'all shouldn't even been in this tournament. Seriously. Y'all shouldn't be in Eurobasket. There's no reason why Israel should play in Eurobasket. It's all bullshit. And, well, I'm glad Giannis put y'all's ass out. Seriously. If you want to be embarrassed, don't be embarrassed about basketball. Be embarrassed about bombing children. That's what you should be embarrassed about. I'm not directing that directly at you. I'm talking to the state of Israel right now. Eliminated by Giannis? Yeah, Israel eliminated. That's right. That's right. Trevor J saying there are 3 types of people. The ones who think they know, but they do not know. And there are ones who just don't know. Others are who actually believe in what they do not know. Okay, I think I kind of understand that. Listen, the smartest person in the world knows that they don't know jack shit. Seriously. That's a big part of my knowledge is that Lex, there's a whole ton of the world that is uncovered and you do not know, is not covered, has not been uncovered. And so you don't know it. And there's all kinds of stuff like that. Now, so I have insights, I have ideas, and I have knowledge of some things, but the wealth of knowledge in the world, no one knows as much as everything. So sometimes the smartest thing is to say, I don't know jack shit. And then boom, you're like, wow, you're smart. Yeah. Because I admit that I don't know anything. It's the people that say they know everything that don't know everything, and they're idiots. So yeah, it's kind of a weird situation. It's good to be humble when it comes to knowledge. And the other important thing about knowledge is be ready to change on a dime with new facts presented to you. The worst people in the world are theocrats that only go by the lines of what they believe, partly because of religion or partly because of ideologues that teach them that this is how they're supposed to believe, like the MAGA. And well, the people that are the smartest are the ones who can look at the facts presented, the evidence, and they can change their opinions as the evidence comes. The dumbest people in the world stick to whatever they believe stubbornly and do not ever change their opinions. Those are the dumb people. So be flexible and be knowledgeable and be ready when new evidence and new facts come out, like science changes because the science discovers something, to go with it. And a lot of anti-vaccine information is bullshit because it's not going with science and looking at the facts and seeing what's going on right now. So that's what I would say is the smartest people in the world are flexible with their beliefs because when new evidence is presented, they're able to change their beliefs as the truth changes. So there you go. Because the truth of 1950 is not the truth of today, as much as some people want to revert us back to that time. It's not the truth of today. That's 75 years ago. So much shit has happened since. So much knowledge has been passed. So much discovery has happened that whatever truth of 1950 that people thought back then, half that shit doesn't matter at this point because the world has completely evolved and changed. So yeah, the people are trying to live in that time though. James is saying, Lex, how does Scotty and Ingram duo compare to the rest of the league in the East and the rest of the East? Well, you're speaking about Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram as a duo, as a tandem on the Raptors this season. We have not seen it in action yet, in reality yet. We glimpses of it in practice, just the ideas and the thinking about it. Oh man, I can't wait to see Brandon play for the Raptors. Well, I mean, I would say this. Scotty Barnes is our franchise player, and he's our best player on the team. But Brandon Ingram's going to be a good competition for being possibly the best player on the Raptors. I mean, Scotty is the franchise player, and he is very important. He may be the most important player on the team, but because of Brandon's skills and his ability to shape the game at the end of the game, he may end up looking like possibly the best player on the team. And Scotty may be doing more team-oriented, team glue stuff. So we'll have to see. As far as comparing them against other pairs from around the Eastern Conference, we look at Boston. You got Tatum and Brown. Well, Tatum's hurt this year. And to me, Tatum and Brown are too similar. I've always thought that was the knock on the Boston Celtics and their build with Tatum and Brown, that they were a natural competition between each other, and it's caused a lot of controversy on their team and a lot of extra stuff just because they're a similar position, and people have often tried to tear them apart. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like Scotty is the most versatile player out of all four of those players. When you say those two pairs, Scotty is the most versatile player out of Tatum, Brown, Ingram, and Barnes. And he adds another dimension of all kinds of extra stuff. I don't know. I would definitely take Ingram and Barnes over Brown and Tatum. I love Jaylen Brown. Let's not get it twisted. It's Jason Tatum who's the weak link in that. Cleveland, they're really kind of more of a quartet than a pair. So I don't know who to break the quartet down to be a pair against Barnes and Ingram. So can we add Barrett and Quickly into this mix and go up against Mobley, Allen, what's his name? Mitchell and Garland. Can we do a 4 versus 4 for a Cleveland versus Toronto? Because that's an interesting matchup. Garland versus Quickly, Mitchell versus RJ, Brandon versus Allen, and then Scotty versus Mobley. Those are some pretty good matchups right there. Some of them are very close. Some of them are very close matchups. Brandon Ingram's a way better player than Jared Allen. Jared Allen's a better defensive player in some ways, but he's not a better offensive player. Scotty Barnes and Mobley are pretty close. But I still think that the Rookie of the Year voting shows who's ahead and should still be ahead, even though Evan got a Defensive Player of the Year, which is bullshit, honestly. He should have won that. He's only gets better defense because he stands next to Jared. And then, the guards, Mitchell versus Barrett. That's a tough one. That may go to Cleveland right now, but I don't know. RJ could do more and grow in some ways. I mean, Donovan Mitchell's just a weird player. He's like a very good scorer, but in some ways he has holes and flaws. Garland versus Quickly. Some people are going to laugh at me when I say they're very even. Some people, oh no, Garland's an all-star. Manuel, what has he done? I'd say they're pretty even. I think they're very even players, like at this point, and Quickly can get better still. So that's what I'm kind of seeing. I mean, those are if we're comparing that kind of stuff, it's tough. It's tough to do it. What's the other team? New York. We're gonna look at New York pair versus Raptors pair of Barnes and Ingram. I don't know. Who do you take from New York? Brunson and Cat. Brunson and Cat versus Barnes and Ingram. It's kind of like NBA Jam, James. We got to get the old NBA Jam arcade game and see what this year's two team pairings are on the games, and then we'll play them in the NBA Jam. That's kind of the way to decide this. Let's go on NBA Jam and play with the big head Scotty and Brandon Ingram against pairs from the rest of the Eastern Conference. That'd be the way to do it. Raptor Freak James, salute to you, sir. Always good to talk to you in the morning, man. James has the best questions, man. He's been asking so many good questions this summer. He just comes and rifles them off at me, and I appreciate that, man. I do. You help me have good content, James. You really do. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Good morning to the Cool Cat, the coach. The coach is here. Coach is here, y'all. Let's huddle up. Let's see what the direction is for this week. All right, Coach. It's Monday morning quarterbacking. Quarterback us for the week. Coach Cool Cat, tell us what's up. That's right. Trevor J saying, cannot wait for Raptors basketball. Ooh, Trevor's getting that. He's getting that feeling. Jones is jonesing. Jones is jonesing for that basketball. He's jonesing for it. I know I get that basketball Jones too, Jones. Yeah, I do. I talked about it when the lockout happened, when the lockdown happened, when the pandemic happened on the old Kensington Variety VIP Club show, when we had the season end all of a sudden because of COVID and we all sat at home and I missed basketball. Then I was basketball jonesing bad. I was like, damn, I've seen the schedule too. I was like, man, the Raptors were supposed to be playing the Warriors today on TV. They were going to be playing the Warriors, but no, we're all in the stupid pandemic. Fuck you, Rudy Gobert. It was weird, man. I was jonesing for basketball, just like Trevor Jones is jonesing. That's right. Yeah, Commissioner Fun. It's no fun without basketball in the air. He wants that back. So come on, calendar. Where's Monique? We need to cut down so we can tell Trevor J how close we are to Media Day. That's right. Jonesing for basketball. We are jonesing. We are jonesing like Jones. That's right. That's right. Fiercey's saying, good morning, fam, and happy Monday. I can't wait either. Fiercey's got the Jones. She's a Jones. It's Fiercey Jones now. That's her name now. Barnaby Jones, Trevor Jones, Fiercey Jones. These are all Jonesing. That's Alexi Jones. My name is Lex Jones. Hi, my name is Lex Jones. Don't get me confused with Jonas Brothers. No, I'm not a Jonas. I'm a Jones. I'm jonesing. Jonesing. I want that basketball. I want that Raptors. Oh, I can see the highlights at Remy Hollywood. Ooh, I'm like, I'm getting appetizer. Rico Hines, stuff like that. Oh, man, come on now. You're toying with me. Come on now. We need the real deal, Holyfield. We need some basketball. We need some Raptors basketball. Come on now. Give it to it. We just need one hit. Come on now. We're jonesing. We're jonesing here. That's right. We are jonesing. Trevor J saying, people are saying the Raptors are building another OKC. Ooh, I like that. Trevor, I like that. That's the word on the street. People are saying we're building another OKC. Ooh, I like that. I like that. We've seen the result for old SGA and his crew getting the championship this year. Oh, I like that. If we're building OKC, I like the destination. That's right. I like the destination. That's right. Ooh, I like it. That's the word on the street. Ooh, I like it. I like it. I like it. You're jonesing, but I like the word on the street. That's right. That's right. Fiercey saying, I think they gave Mobley to match Scotty's Rookie of the Year. That could be right. There's a little bit of conspiracy theory. Maybe Fiercey's thinking, this. Let's do this Winders here real quick. Scotty Barnes beat Evan Mobley by a very slim margin on Rookie of the Year. Cleveland fans have been upset since. Cleveland did have the best record in the Eastern Conference last year. People like their defense, and they wanted to give a defensive player to one of their guys, and they guessed they picked him because maybe you're right that he just got edged out for that Roy, and well, he got a Depoy. Well, Scotty wants that Depoy too. I mean, that's what he said in the last month on Twitch. He said, I want Depoy. I want to be on the all defensive team. I want to be MVP. Yeah. Well, Scotty wants that. I want Scotty to get that. I want what Scotty wants, and I want Scotty to go get that. Yeah. So he wants a Depoy. So you go get a Depoy. Go get a Depoy. Yeah. Yeah. But nah. Listen, I understand what Fiercey's saying. I think she's right. Maybe they did try and even up the resumes of those rookies from that class. I'm still telling you, Evan Mobley ain't jack shit without Jared Allen next to him. He ain't jack shit. That's right. That's right. Good representation of the rookie class. That's right. Would not be surprised if Cunningham gets most improved player next season. Jalen Green is out of any contention. I love that. That's perfect. Fiercey is exactly right. There's some crazy ass trade with Phoenix that somebody put out there, a trade proposal where we trade RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly to Phoenix, or no, it was RJ Barrett and Oshai to Phoenix for Jalen Green. And some people were saying, that's a great deal. Oh my gosh, that's so good. We need to do this right away. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Jalen Green, seriously? That guy, I know he's Scotty's buddy and they're friends, but that dude is not a legitimate NBA player. No. He's just a little bit of Josh Christopher on steroids. That's what he is, man. That man is not an NBA player. I'm sorry. No, he's not. In some ways, Houston sent him away. They're not building around him anymore. Has Detroit sent Cade away? No. Has Toronto sent Scotty away? No. Has Evan been sent away? No. Has Franz been sent away? No. Josh Giddey got sent away, but Jalen Green's got sent away too. And that's not a good sign. I'll say this right now, man. Yeah, Jalen Green is out of contention. You're right, Fiercey. You're right. Cunningham getting most improved player. I can see that. That's a kind of prediction I would make. I want to see this. I want to see if Fiercey Saucere is right. And this year, all of a sudden, we see Cade Cunningham, the MIP, all of a sudden by the end of the year. And we'll be like, wow, Fiercey called this before the season. I'm going to put a pin in this. If we get a Cade Cunningham most improved player of the year, we're going to say that Fiercey was calling that one. That's right. Too flashy, Jalen Green. Too flashy. Too much sizzle. Not enough steak. Jalen Green, you're going to take a high amount of field goal attempts and you're going to make a slow amount of field goals? You suck. You're a high usage, low scoring guy. Most nights you're going to shoot 30% or lower from the field. That is not a player I want on my team. That's a Bradley Beal. I don't want that shit on my team. That's like you traded old ass Bradley Beal out of Phoenix, and now you got a young ass Bradley Beal and Jalen Green. Like, what the hell is this, Phoenix? What are y'all doing, man? What are y'all doing? Fiercely saying we've been saying our journey is similar to OKC's. People are sleeping. Is Raptor freaks know what's up? I mean, I see what you guys are saying, but I don't know if I've ever said that we're just like OKC. There's other teams that I can see. I mean, there's parts of our build that look like OKC, like our dogged guards. They got Case and Wallace. They got Alex Caruso. They got Luguentz Dort. Those guys are like gargoyles that sit on the side of a building, like on the movie Ghostbusters. And they sit, and they protect that side of the court for the Thunder. And well, we got gargoyles too. Yeah, we got guys like Elijah Martin and Jamal Shed and Chucky Hepburn and Jacoby and even Grady. These guys are good dogged defenders in the half court and in the full court, just stopping people. And that's a very big similarity in what we have to what the champion Thunder have, for sure. And plus the age bracket. We are a young team, just like they are. I was pointing it out to my cousin yesterday that, there's only like 3 or 4 Raptors on the roster this year that are over 25. And there's like Jakob, Garrett, and Emmanuel. And the rest of them are all youngsters. They're 25 and under. That's pretty much it. Everybody else is, yeah, young. Very, very young team. So that's another way we're like OKC for sure. Nako saying Jacoby over Jalen Green. Yeah. Yeah. And I can explain why this is true. Gerald, good morning to you, man. Glad to see you in the chat with us. All the Raptor freaks coming in. I can tell you why. It's because Jacoby's doing things the right way. He's not about flash, like Fiercey said. He's not about the dunks. He's not about trying to look good. He's about doing it efficiently and doing it the right way. And Jacoby Walter has basically built his game the right way. So he's a fundamentally very good player. This is the thing at that position, the 2-3, at the 2 guard swing to the 3, the small forward. That position is one of the hardest positions to be fundamentally accurate or good, because it's a position of a lot of shooting and a lot of scoring. And in some ways, you need to be methodical and smart in your decision making. And you have to practice like crazy. You have to take a ton of shots, and you have to really have a strong belief in yourself, and you have to play within control. That's part of the problem with Jalen Green is I don't feel like he plays within control half the time. Jacoby Walter is very measured. Jacoby Walter, every foot that he puts down on the court is thought about. Every dribble, every way he holds the ball, everything. He's going over everything because in some ways that's his namesake's way. Michael Jordan, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, Kobe Bean Bryant. This is his namesakes. And to be who he needs to be in their namesake, to honor the names that he carries in his first name, he has to be on their code. He has to be DeRozan code. He has to do it the right way, because he wouldn't be doing justice to the people he's named after. Like Kobe Bryant would not be happy if Jacoby did not do all the steps, and he started skipping steps. And he started just doing things for flash. And look, I can do this dunk like this. Woo! Yeah, no, he can do that. Don't get me wrong, but he's going to do it when it matters and when it's supposed to happen, and not just for the hell of it. And that's what I'm talking about. Jacoby Walter is disciplined. Jacoby Walter plays the right way, and Jalen Green does not. And that alone puts greater for Walter. He's not gotten there yet. Jalen Green has more accolades and more stats, but Jacoby Walter will get there. Give him some time. He's going to get there. Watch. Trevor's saying we all hit a time when we have to lose hope and need someone's arms around us and say, I got you right now, and I would not let you face this alone. That's awesome. I like this. This is like extra words of wisdom. I love this. Trevor, man, I miss you, man. I love your presence in the chat, and I love hearing your comments come in. No, this is interesting, man. In times of hope, hopefully you have somebody there for you. If you don't, be somebody there for somebody else. That's what they say. It's like if you don't have somebody for you in a certain way, be that person for somebody else. Because in some ways you're healing the world in that way. It's like nobody could do this for me. Nobody was there for me in this. But you know what? I'm not going to get jaded. I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to be a jerk because of it. I'm going to give what I wasn't given to somebody else. That's one of the most beautiful gifts you can do. It's like, look, yeah, listen, when I grew up, man, my dad wasn't around. He wasn't there for me. But you know what? I'm going to be there for my kid when I have my kid. And I'm going to give him something that I wasn't giving myself. That's benevolence. That's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, man. Trevor J, I appreciate you, man. And you know what? This is what I'm saying. They want to divide and conquer. Well, we want to unite and win. That's what we want to do. We want to unite and win. That's the right one, because we will win in the end. The power of the people. They showed up this weekend. I'm so proud of y'all. They won't show it on the national news. They won't talk about it in the newspapers because they are scared of Trump. And everybody needs to know that hundreds of thousands of people hit the street in the United States this weekend, and they protest no more kings, no kings in this country. We believe in democracy. We believe in freedom. We believe in the true ideals of the founding fathers of the United States. And to see the masses out in full effect. Yeah. And to also see images of the Chicago police scaring off ICE out of Chicago. This is very heartwarming. And it makes you understand that, power of the people. And when we unite, we win. Then don't let them divide us. Do not let them divide us down silly ass lines. Because honestly, the only line that matters is we are the people. And this is supposed to be a government, a country that works for the people. That's what it says on that document, we the people. And that's what we need to get that country back to down in the States against Trump and stopping this MAGA crazy ass dictator bullshit. And, the mainstream media is not going to show the images that I saw on Facebook yesterday. The masses walking through Chicago, walking through Washington, walking through major metropolitan cities across the nation in protest. The man went to US Open to watch some tennis in New York yesterday, and he got booed the hell out of that building, just like he did at the wrestling match he went to in the last month too. Yeah. The people have spoken. The people have hit the streets, and the people are rejecting your MAGA ass, crazy ass nightmare world, Donald Trump. And they will continue to reject it until you're gone. Yeah, one way or another, you're going to be gone. One way or another, you're going to be gone. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying, I love Sandro's game, but he's not a center. All right, I'm going to argue this. I know Shaq Lindsay brought this narrative in earlier this summer already. I want to say this once again, man. This man is 6'11". This man is very strong. In some ways, like, once again, I think I even said this to you last time, Shaq Lindsay. I measure whether you're a center by your strength. Are you strong enough to hold a man like Nikola Jokic? Are you strong enough to hold a man like Joel Embiid? Are you strong enough to hold that kind of beef? These big dudes, they're 7 foot and they weigh over 250, 260 pounds. Can you hold your ground with those kind of people? Then you're a center. If you can't, then you're not. And well, Sandro can. This is the thing. That man's got Steven Adams kind of strength. Steven Adams, Jakob Poeltl, these guys have strength. That's why they play center. That's why Steven Adams, he can push people around because he can do that. Well, Sandro's strong, man. Don't discount Sandro's strength. Sure, he can get up and down the court fast. Sure, he can hit threes. Sure, he can do all kinds of stuff. In fact, that makes him so much better. They can do stuff that's classically not big man stuff, like dribble the ball and pass and shoot threes. That doesn't mean he's not a center, though. That just means he's a center, a skilled center. You can look at Arvydas Sabonis. You can look at Nikola Jokic. There's been centers, Marc Gasol, that pass real good, that shoot threes. And that's just all this is. He's a really good player. I'm telling you right now. And he's got the height and the strength to play backup center for us. Listen, seriously, you can't take this away from me, Shaq Lindsay. Cool Cat and I have been pining for more centers on our team. And you can't take this away from us. We want this center to be a center. The coach and I, we want this center. That's right. That's right. But no, seriously. You'll see. Shaq Lindsay, I'll leave this one open for now. We'll come back when the evidence is put on the court this year. And if you are right, I'll admit it. If he is a dud at the center position this season, if he is Aaron Bainesing us this year, God forbid, I will come around and admit it. But if I'm right that he can play center and we do see him out there doing it, well, it's your turn to come the other way. And that's just what we're going to have to see. We're going to put a pin in this, just like Fiercey with their MIP for Cade Cunningham. And we're going to see who's right by the end of the year. That's what we do on this channel. We're predicting. We have foresight. We are looking ahead. We're trying to see what's happening. And sometimes we're right. Often we're right. That's right. We're often right about opining on the NBA and looking into the future and seeing what's happening. That's right. Wayne Strainer's here. The Sergeant at Arms is in the order in the court or on the stream. Sergeant at Arms is here. You all may be seated. That's what this man says. Sergeant Wayne Strainer, good morning to you, sir. Always happy to have my good friend Wayne on the chat right now. It's good to see him, man. Fiercely saying booing is therapeutic. It can be. It can be. Yeah, I mean, listen, this is what it is. You're going to get in public and people are going to be there and you didn't pay them to be there. Your sorry ass MAGA cult election parties where you paid people, actors to come in there. You don't have control of them. Well, they're going to boo you. And you got to hear the real popularity poll, right, in real time. Yeah, you got that real popularity poll, didn't you, Donald Trump? That's your real popularity right there. You need a straw poll? Fuck that. Go to US Open. You'll get a straw poll in your ear. It's just how much people hate your ass. Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, Kaz is here. Good morning, Lex, Rapid Free Crew. Good morning to you, Trucker Kaz. Dominant player in the WNBA Fantasy League. He is just amazing, man. 959 is where he's at after so many days, 7 days of play. He's averaging way over 100 points per game per day. And I got 780. I made up a little bit of ground yesterday. I actually beat him on Sunday, but it's still not that much. I mean, I down by 160 points. I got till Thursday. Yeah, then it's over. Thursday's the last day of the season for the WNBA, and I got till then. But it's looking like Cavs and then going to cruise right to that WNBA Fantasy Championship. Well, at least Lex, you got, you know what? Don't feel bad. You actually got second this year, probably. So you're gonna be the silver medal for the league. That's pretty good, man. I haven't medaled in the WNBA league yet, so this will be good. I'll actually medal this year. And then Meredith is looking like the third place. He's got some good control over Kareem right now, but Kareem does have a shot. He has to get it together in the last few days of the league. And also, Cool Cat. She's going to probably be fifth. JP will be sixth. Fiercey will be seventh. Logical Raptors Fanatic will be eighth. And Edmund's going to be ninth. And I'm sorry, James, too little, too late. You're going to be the last place team in our league this year, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, there is a game today. There's one game, Connecticut Sun at Atlanta Dream. And the crew chief is number 55, Eric Bruton. The referee is number 77, Jenna Renault. And the umpire is number 44, Sarah Williams. There's your WNBA check-in. Connecticut versus Atlanta tonight, the only game on the slate. So if you got some Connecticut or Atlanta players, get them in there. Let's go, Tina Charles. Let's go, Tina Charles. Yeah, that's my center. Shaq Lindsay. No, all right. Hang on. All right, I'll read G first. I'm going to read Shaq Lindsay's, continue with the Sandro stuff. Bam is 6'9" and plays center. I agree with Lex. It's more than height to determine the position in the modern NBA. I don't even think it's the height that and I see why Shaq Lindsay's coming with the narrative. I see why. I understand why he's doing this now with the next line he wrote. This is the thing. Yeah, because like Chuck Hayes, all right, 6'7", could play center. He was playing center because he's just a little doorstop. Chuck Hayes, legendary Raptor. We love you, Chuck. Yeah, he could do that. There's different players that can play center that are short, and they can do it just because they're physically strong enough, you know. But Sandro's tall and strong enough. Sandro's tall and strong enough. All right, this is it. This is what he's saying. Shaq Lindsay's saying, we need to free Ulrich. I won't disagree with you. We want Shamshay to play as much as possible, but on both levels. Now, if he's going to come up to the NBA and he's going to screw us up and make mistakes still because he's still green, you know, the man is only what? He's not even 20 yet, is he? He's going to be 20 in December or something like that. It's crazy, man. The kid is so young. And honestly, we can't rush him. This is the one thing we promised with Ulrich is we do not rush his development. Every step in its right order and taking its time. And last year, he showed so much progress coming from, you know, just coming to North America for the first time in his life and learning, you know, Canada, learning the Raptors, learning culture here. And it was a lot to throw at him. So last year, there wasn't any reason to put him on the big club for a long stint because he's so green and such a project. It's going to be a year number 2 of that. I'm sorry, Shaq Lindsay. I don't see Shamshay getting prominent minutes on the Raptors this year either. And it's really because we need to slow cook him as a young player coming up. We don't want to rush him. In some ways, there's a lot of danger in playing Shamshay in regular rotation on the Raptors because he can make a lot of boneheaded mistakes. Also, we could mess up his confidence. You know, you could send him up to the Raptors and you could have him playing against the best in the NBA and he gets messed up by somebody on another team. And it's just like, whoa, he starts doubting himself. So you want to give him the right environment to succeed. And you want to give him every step in the right order. And this has very much been explained by Darko. That with Ulrich Shamshay, we don't want to rush any steps with him. That every little thing's got to go in the right order. Now, even with his injury halfway through the season last year in G League 905, he's caught up and he's on the right schedule still. He did not get backtracked from a half season of missing, which is amazing considering he only played a half season in professional basketball at this point. He's only played a half season of the NBA/G League. He didn't play a full year last year. So, man, he really is so green, like a banana, man. We got to wait for him to yellow up. We got to wait for him to yellow up. So, yeah, he'll get free. Don't worry about it. And if he progresses super fast, like say this, Shaq Lindsay. What if Shamshay does not play for the Raptors? All right, I could see him playing for the Raptors at the very beginning of the season. He's going to play some before they go off to G League. Then he'll go to G League. And what if he plays the first half of the G League season before they get it's like the showcase part or whatever? And then around December, he's gotten really good. Like he kicks so much ass on G League that they're kind of like, you know what? We do want you up on the rotation halfway through the season. It could be around the trade deadline, something like that. All of a sudden, Shamshay gets called up. And in the second half of this NBA season coming up, he is a part of our rotation then. But that's all very much dependent on his gains and how competent he's playing. In some ways, he's had to learn not to foul people. He's had to learn defensive positioning. He's had to learn a lot of things that are just easy. Some of the stuff's easy, and it's just stuff that he's got to get better at. And the best place for him to do that is in Mississauga, because the mistakes there don't cast us stuff in the 82 game season. And if he comes up and he's doing rookie mistakes on the Raptors in Raptor games, well, that could fall things apart with the chemistry and the things that they're trying to build with the Raptors right now. So he's got to be slow cooked. Let's just put it that way. He's got to be slow cooked to perfection before he comes to play for the Raptors. And honestly, my expert opinion on this is he's not going to be a regular rotation player for the Raptors until next season. That half season thing could happen, but that's really only if he's so good that we're like, yeah, we want him up on the Raptors. And partly it's because of his shot blocking. I'm going to say that. It'll partly be because of that. G saying, I think Sandro will play two positions and be plugged in where needed. Yeah. I mean, he will play four, but this is the thing. In the NBA today, the four is the five. That's quite often what happens. They play small ball, and they don't have a legitimate five out there. So the four guy, even he is the biggest guy on the court. So it's anyways, he is the center because he's the biggest guy on the court. I mean, there's a lot of small ball out there these days where power forwards are playing center, and they are legitimate power forwards and not centers. But that's just the style of small ball and the style of the newer NBA to be faster and lighter getting up and down the court. Sometimes you want to have a small ball lineup and you want to, Sandro, you could say, quote unquote, he's the center on a small ball lineup. Sure, you could say that if that's part of what Shaq Lindsay's trying to say. Sure, you could say that if you want. He could get up and down the court and dribble and to not slow down a small ball lineup. So in some ways, that's a luxury. You've got a center-sized guy that can run a small ball lineup as the center. And in some ways, he's a center-sized guy legitimately also. So it's very interesting to see. But yeah, I think G's right. I mean, he's going to be playing 4 and 5. But when is he playing 4? Only when he's out there with Jakob. I think that he's pretty much the second biggest guy on the team. So, and that's the way I always look at it, guys. I look at it from the smallest guy to the top, 1 through 5, unless you're a special character like Scotty, who can play the 1 at 6'9". Then it's like, oh, well, Scotty's playing point right now. So he's flipped to the 1, even though he may be the biggest player, or the second biggest player on the team, on the court at that time. So yeah, that's the only way I do the numbering system. In some ways, the numbers don't even matter. The positions don't even matter at this point. Positionless, everybody's doing everybody else's skills. But still, if you have to have a system to figure out what position people are playing in basketball, you should still do 1 through 5, and 1 is the shortest and 5 is the tallest. And at any point on the court, Sandro's going to be usually the 5 because he'll probably be the biggest guy on the court often, unless he's out there with the Austrian. And then he's the 4. That's the way I look at it. I mean, y'all don't have to look at it the same way as me. This is just classically how I've always looked at basketball since the 80s. 1 through 5. You know your point guard, your shooting guard, your small forward, your power forward, and your center. That's it right there. That's it right there. So he's saying Sandro won't be Aaron Baines, man. Baines was putrid. Yeah, I know. That was just a joke. I mean, I was to say that's the only way he's not a center is if he can't play the position in the first place. And I know he can. The Spurs fans know he can. The Milwaukee Bucks fans know he can. Georgia knows he can. So he's going to come here. He's going to be very good for us. That's right. Fiercely saying, I have a feeling Mamu will prove Shaq Lindsay wrong. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is the other thing. This stuff that's going on with Georgia right now is really good for his psyche. I mean, this is crazy big, y'all. Georgia has never, ever won in Eurobasket like that and moved to the second round. They're going beyond. We're going like Star Trek right now. Dun, 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 dun. Space, the final frontier. To go where no man has gone before. And Georgia has never gone before. Past France in the first round in the Eurobasket to get the second round. So Sandro's Captain Kirk right now, y'all. He's Captain Kirk. Put him in that little yellow shirt with the V-neck. Yeah, dun 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 dun, dun. Goga, please get me the scanner and tell me what do we see up ahead. Captain Sandro, I see on my scanner that we have Finland coming up next. Oh yes, thank you, Goga. Thank you, Mr. Goga. Yes, okay. So we must deal with the Markkinen creature. Yes, Captain. That is correct. I see that. Dun, 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 dun. Georgia's going where the no man's gone before for Georgia. And that's what I'm saying. You know, it's a similar thing to Dennis. Dennis Schroeder went to World Cup and kicked some major ass. And Germany won and got MVP. Yeah. What did Dennis do? Dennis was feeling good. He came into Toronto as a Raptor, and he is the MVP of the world. You know, this kind of stuff can help you a lot. Sandro's coming in with a lot of momentum into the season because of the success yesterday and against Spain and stuff like that. Ooh, he's got to be feeling good. So yeah, I listen, this is the thing. He was a feel-good player before all this feel-good stuff at Eurobasket. He's a feel-good player in San Antonio last year. Like, that's the thing. Sandro Mamu is a popular guy. He's popular with his teammates. They love him. Him and Victor are cool. They're tight. He was talking trash to Victor yesterday. He's talking trash to him. He's also real cool with the fans. Why is this man a fan favorite at every city he's come to? Milwaukee and San Antonio. He's going to be a fan favorite in Toronto too. Watch Sandro Mamu. Why? Because he gets after it. Because he's a hustler. He does the dirty work. He's a physical guy. He plays hard. People love that shit. And that's what we're going to see with Sandro. Seriously. He's going to be a fan favorite, and people are going to be like, wow, I love this new center guy we got on the Raptors. Mamu? Where did he come from? Oh, he's on San Antonio last year. He's Captain Kirk. Dun, 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 dun. Space, the final frontier. Yeah, we always get that Canadian content one way or another, Dr. William Shatner. That's right, doctor. Why'd you call him doctor? I mean, I guess he probably is a doctor. They made him a doctorate somewhere. William Shatner's been doctored over and over, just like Siakam. Just like Siakam. Dr. Siakam to you. Dr. Shatner to you. That's right, Dr. Siakam. That's right, Dr. Siakam, President Van Vliet. That's right. That's right. Dr. Siakam and President Van Vliet. I want all our cool Raptors, our groats, like Kyle Lowry and DeMar and Fred and Pascal, to sit in a really cushy room with like tea and monocles. Oh, yes, Dr. Siakam. How are you today? Oh, yes, President Van Vliet. Very good to see you, sir. You know, I want that shit to happen. That'd be fun, man. And Kyle's like the GROAT. He's like, Your Eminence, the GROAT. You know, and Mr. Debo. Yes, Mr. Debo. Yes, coming in, Mr. Debo. The established, distinguished gentleman, Mr. Debo. That's right. Yeah, that's funny, man. It's good stuff. So Reggie's saying Sandro will be decent, not crazy good. He will be a passable rotation player. You know, you might be shocked at just what he's going to do for us, guys. Seriously, you think he's just going to be decent? That's not what I've seen in his highlight reels and what the effect he has. The man is energy personified. This dude puts burst in the games. In some ways, he's going to be like Scott. Scott infuses energy into the whole rest of the lineup. Sandro does the same thing. I mean, you can't help but get inspired by people that hustle their ass off. They got inspired by Garrett Temple getting on the floor as an old man. They get inspired by Scotty playing all out. Sandro's part of that energy. You're going to see it. Sandro's going to go all out. There's going to be one point where Sandro falls flat on the floor because he's busting his ass to go get the ball, and everybody's going to be like, wow, that guy really cares. That guy really is going all out. I'm telling you, there's going to be things that you see. You guys are underestimating Mamu Lukashvili. I'm telling you right now, this guy is not even just a bench player. He should be starting on a lot of teams. Seriously. And he does start when people get injured. He comes in and he fills in the starting lineup and he's fine. Milwaukee used him as the replacement for Brook Lopez a couple years ago. There were games where we played against Sandro as a starter for the Bucks. He was starting next to Giannis, and there was no drop off. They was still running around and doing all the things that Brook Lopez would do for them. So I'm saying you guys are slightly underestimating who Sandro Mamu is. And y'all are going to be surprised. You're going to actually see that he does add up to a lot. In some ways, he's going to do better stuff than Boucher did for us, guys. He's going to do better stuff than Chris. Seriously, he says that. Thank Chris with a better three-point shot. That's his level, in my opinion. Nope. You're missing him on the defensive presence side. In some ways, he bodies up better and he plays low post defense, and Chris never did that as well. He did do it, but he just, like I said, he didn't have the center of gravity to hold anybody. So, Sandro has the center of gravity, and you guys are underselling him. Shaq Lindsay, Smooth Brown Man, you guys are underselling him. You're going to see. You're going to see. I'll show you guys when he comes out and we start doing the reactions. I'll be like, yeah, see, I told y'all, Mamu's going to be amazing. He's going to be amazing. I'm not lying. He's going to be amazing. You guys are going to be shocked because honestly, part of it is also he really wants to play for us. Like, he's really itching to play for Toronto. He's wanted to play here. You guys got to remember, too, he was high school teammates with RJ. He was. He played with RJ in high school. They're best friends. I don't know if y'all knew that. You remember that Sandro Mamu is RJ's whole teammate, and they're really close friends? Like, Sandro being around with RJ is another chemistry that's untapped. It's like RJ's got IQ. RJ's got AJ. RJ's got Sandro. He's got a little crew of friends on this team. And Mama Luca Vascelli is very, very close with Barrett, guys. You guys got to understand that. As soon as he got signed with us, Sandro signed with us, it was RJ on the phone. Oh, dude, you're coming up, man. It's going to be so awesome. You're going to play on my team, man. Here in Toronto, man. Come on, man. I'm looking forward to this, RJ. I miss you. It's going to be cool, man. It's going to be cool. Plus, I mean, Sandro's a European player. He's got a European coach. In some ways, the Georgian style that's winning right now, well, maybe it can be integrated with the Serbian ideas of the great Rajakovic. There's a lot of interesting linkages in this move with him here. I'm just saying, man, there's a lot of linkages, man. Fiercely saying Tina Charles is very good. I know. She's been very solid for me this whole entire year when she's been available. But yeah, Connecticut Sun have not been a good team, but Tina Charles has been good this year in the WNBA. That's right. Yeah. Fiercely saying free Ulrich. Why? No, let's send him to 905 by not freeing him. He has potential. I mean, if Ulrich was under duress and he was like chained somewhere, I'd say, yeah, free Ulrich, but he's not. He's fine. He's fine. He's got it. Listen, they're communicating with him. He's smiling. In some ways, he's very happy Brandon's around because there's another clutch guy. And Rich Paul can be like, yeah, Brandon's going to look out for you, Ulrich. Yeah. You can talk to Brandon Ingram anytime you want. He's one of our clients, just like you. And well, we're a company and he's your brother and he's going to look out for you. Oh, it's like, all right, Brandon is my guy. So, Ulrich, in some ways, he's getting guidance from the coaches, the Raptors, the organization, Bobby Webster, Masai Ujiri in spirit, FU, Ed Rogers III, and Brandon Ingram. So, yeah, no, we can't rush Ulrich. We cannot do it. Seriously. He's a fast learner. Trust me. Just go on his schedule. He'll get there. He's a very fast learner, and let him just do it on his own time. That's right. Fiercely saying I have way more confidence in Shamshay's journey rather than Koloko's. This is an interesting comment by Fiercey. Let's do some Koloko versus Shamshay comparison. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, first of all, one of the problems with Koloko is a similar problem to Boucher. That, as much as he's a center, as much as he was a defensive player of the year in the Pac-10 with Arizona, he's not got the beef to hold the center position. He doesn't have the strength. So what do you do with a 7'2" guy who can't hold position and weight-wise with big centers in the league? He can't play center. That was one of the biggest problems with Koloko. Was that Koloko in some ways was a shot blocker. He was a center, but he couldn't defensively play center correctly in the post. And that was a problem. That was part of the reason why he didn't work out totally. Now, Shamshay's built. He's got muscles. He's got shoulders. And that's going to be a big difference right there. And he may not be as tall as Koloko, but he's way stronger. And that's the difference right there. Strength is an important attribute when you play the center in NBA. It's really, really important. Really, really important. I have way more confidence in Shamshay too. I wanted Koloko to work out, but that mystery ailment and all the shenanigans since, well, it is what it is. Whatever that mystery ailment was, you're in the Lakers, and well, your career's gone to shit now, Christian, because you should have never left the defensive, amazing, fertile ground of the Toronto Raptors organization. Is that's where you develop. That's where you make the $40 million a year. Ask Fred VanVleet. It's not in LA. He'll kill your career there, LeBron James. And well, that's what it looks like's happened since you became a Laker. Honestly, what the fuck, man? You didn't even make their playoff roster. What are you doing with your life, Christian? I feel sad for him in some ways. I feel very sad. Milbester's here. Good morning, Milbester. We got Nick's Freak in the house. Nick's Freak. Yeah, there's been a big baseball series this weekend. Good morning, Lex. How are you today? It was a good weekend for me. Carmelo Anthony in the Hall of Fame was awesome. Especially seeing his speech was awesome. Carmelo is best with his poetry. You know, I did not remember this, but part of the reason why Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and those guys were at the Hall of Fame enshrinement this weekend is because they were all going in again. Chris Bosh is technically a two-time Hall of Famer now because he was on the Redeem team. And that Olympic team that won the gold coming back after Argentina beat the U.S. in the gold the cycle before is getting honored and got enshrined in the Hall of Fame. So technically, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, not yet, but he will be eventually, are all in the Hall of Fame. LeBron James is in the Hall of Fame, and he isn't even retired yet. That's kind of messed up, y'all. It's kind of messed up. LeBron James is in the Hall of Fame as of this weekend because he was on the Redeem team, but he still plays in the league. They can technically say LeBron is a Hall of Famer as he's playing right now. That's kind of weird, man. I think they did that shit on purpose. But yeah, all the players that were on that team are in the Hall of Fame now, including Carlos Boozer and some of the other guys that had no chance of making the Hall of Fame. They are Hall of Famers now. Carlos Boozer can come out and say, I'm an NBA Hall of Famer because I was on the NBA Redeem team, the American USA Redeem team. It's crazy, man. So Chris Bosh is technically a two-time Hall of Famer at this point. He's in for himself and for that Olympic team. Apparently, he joins Wayne Embry as the only other Raptor-related person who's in the Hall twice. Wayne Embry's in as a player and as an executive. Wayne Embry, a two-time Hall of Famer. Yeah, our person. I thought you were going to talk about Yankees Blue Jays, Bill Bester. Why don't you? Well, you don't want to talk about that American League East battle that's going on right now in the standings between the Toronto and the New York Yankees. I thought you would talk about that. Carmelo, congratulations. I think Carmelo got inducted 2 times this weekend. He got inducted as a player and on the Redeem team. That's right, Redeem team. All right, Smooth saying Sandro doesn't play angles the way Boucher does, but in some ways he gives you more on the offensive end, more in control. There's just trade-offs. There's different trade-offs. In some ways, Sandro Mamu is a more traditional basketball player than Chris. Chris is a weird hybrid. Chris is a very strange hybrid kind of player that is not the norm. He's a very specified, interesting player. Don't get me wrong. I think he's amazing, but he's not really kind of a traditional player, and there's flaws in Chris's game. It's actually really amazing that Chris has made a career this long. He was not supposed to be in the league this long, guys. He's a huge success story, just like Pascal, OG, and Fred. He is a huge success story because in some ways there's a reality and a lot of realities where Chris Boucher would not have been in the league more than 2 or 3 years. Seriously. So he's a success story of finding a couple of things you do really, really well to make you valuable in the NBA and you stick around. You know, Chris Boucher. You know, everybody can want the world for Chris. I want him to start. I want him to be an all-star. I want him to be MVP. That's not realistic. He, in some ways, his success is just being in the freaking league for 10 years. Seriously. That man could have been bounced 5 years ago, and he's still in the league right now. That's amazing. So that's kind of it right there for Chris, man. Seymour saying, hopefully is not a Koloko type project, Ulrich. I like that. You made a rhyme. Kaboko Koloko. Hopefully he's not a Kaboko Koloko. I mean, those, you know what? A Flynn Kaboko Koloko. That's what we'll call it. A Flynn Kaboko Koloko. Because those were Masai's 3 mistakes that he professed. I may have made a couple of mistakes, he said. Malachi, Christian, Bruno. Those are the three people he named. He said those were his three mistakes when he was running the Raptors. We love you, Masai. Always the president in our hearts of the Toronto Raptors is Masai Ujiri. Yeah, his three mistakes: Bruno, Malachi, and Christian. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Shamshe is going to be like this. And that's why we have to do this right, guys. That's why, Seymour. We got to do this right. We want to get the best out of a body that's just like Giannis Antetokounmpo's. Well, we got to do this right because that man has the specs exactly of the Greek freak. Same height, same weight, same wingspan. It's all the same. The man has the same body as Giannis. And in some ways, we need to make sure we don't drop the ball in rushing him or in the development of him. This is very, very important. Very, very important. That's right. That's right. Trevor's saying more and more clips of Ingram training. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've even noticed that Ingram, much like the other Raptors, has dedicated his training to some strength training. And Brandon's got more muscle on his arm than he did in the spring when he was sitting on the Raptors bench watching us play. He has more muscle on his arm. You look in the highlights and his arms look bigger right now. They look more muscular around his bicep and his shoulder too. So yeah, Ingram hitting them weights, getting some proper guidance from the organization called the Toronto Raptors, and hopefully with guidance, a spectacular talent like him will be guided towards greatness once again, and maybe even an all-star this year. I mean, that's what their goal is. The Brandon Ingram camp is putting it out there. We want to get this man all-star again. The Raptors have said it themselves too. We want to get Brandon back up to the all-star level so that he's an all-star. Yeah, I want to see this. I want to see multiple all-stars for the Raptors. I want us to be a top 4 team in the East and be under consideration for having 2 all-star representatives this year. Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram. Hey, if RJ's in the running too, that's great. Emmanuel, hey, you go ahead. You could be the candidate on the outside running in and getting it, Emmanuel, if you do certain things a certain way. That's right. That's right. Milbester's saying to have grown up watching Melo play was just the best for me. He was my favorite player in the 2000s. I looked up to Melo a lot. The memories of him for the Knicks and his early days with the Nuggets. Very interesting statement by Chauncey Billups in the last couple of days, saying that the Nuggets should have just retired 15 after Melo left. They dropped the ball, allowing 15 to still be out there because now Jokic has it. And yeah, that's kind of a crazy thing. I mean, in some ways, I could see the Nuggets retiring both of them at 15 on the wall and saying Anthony 15, Jokic 15. But I don't know what's going to happen there. In some ways, I can make an argument that he doesn't deserve to have his jersey retired by Denver. Carmelo Anthony. I could make an argument by that. I don't mind if they retire his jersey in New York. In some ways, they're prestige and different things that happen around then. You know, you love him so much. You'd love to see his Carmelo Anthony jersey up in Madison Square Garden. Sure, that in some ways makes more sense to me than retiring his jersey in Denver, because that 15 is overshadowed now by a big Serbian guy named Nikola. And well, Chauncey Billups thinks that Denver just messed up and they should have never let that number continue after Carmelo left. Hindsight's 2020. I mean, shit, we might retire 23 still for Fred, and Jamal's wearing it right now. And in some ways, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. I mean, Fred wouldn't have given Shed his number if he was having a worry about him misrepresenting it. He did ask him. I want to make that very clear. That 23 that Jamal Shed wears was given permission by Fred VanVleet to wear. That's true. That's a very true thing. They have a relationship already because Fred was in Houston and Jamal was playing for Houston in college, and they were in the same city. And Fred, his last year that Jamal was in college, Fred was in Houston at that point, and they did interact. So even before Jamal was a Raptor, you know, he had already been talking to Fred VanVleet. So yeah, that's part of it right there. Let's see. All right. Wayne Strainer's saying this. Can we not do this? Shamshe is not an NBA player yet. The same thing we were opining about Koloko before the injury. He wasn't ready yet, and so is Shamshe. He is a full 1.5 years away at best. Mamu is enough. You know what? I think that Wayne might be right. I mean, this is the way we'll look at it. We'll gauge it each stage. He's going to get some time on the main club right at the beginning of the year. All the G League guys will. Elijah Martin, Chucky Hepburn, All those guys, Jamison Battle, Jonathan Mobo, those guys may play more in the beginning of the season and trying them out and testing before the G League season starts in November. And then they'll go to G League and they'll go there. And we won't see them probably for a while then after that on the Raptors main squad. That's always been the pattern. So you'll get some Shamshay on the Raptors at the beginning of the year, guys. You will get a taste. And we'll see how he does. If he's useful and he's actually providing stuff and he's being competent, not making dumb, silly mistakes, maybe there's a chance he gets on with the rotation this year. Who knows? Shaq Lindsay could be right in that way. I don't know. But I see the timeline that Wayne's saying here, a year and a half. That sounds about right. It may not be the beginning of next year, but it could be halfway through the season next year that Shamshay becomes an established rotation player for the Raptors going forward after that. But yeah, Wayne's exactly right. We can't rush this, y'all. We really can't rush this. This is a huge investment. This is we don't normally do big projects in Toronto like this. And this is a project. This is a classic center project. An NBA team does. And we haven't had one of these in a long time. Jonas might be the last one. I mean, Koloko kind of was one, but he blew up in our face. In some ways, Jonas was the last center project the Raptors put time and investment in to make into a real center, you know? So let's see. Milbester's saying Dwight Howard in the Hall of Fame as well. That was cool, too. To see two great players of generation, the Hall of Fame, I watched as a kid was amazing. Yeah, I don't want to rain on your parade. I have very strong opinions about Dwight Howard not being a Hall of Famer. And it's kind of a silly thing to me. I'll give them Carmelo, but in some ways, I can make an argument why Carmelo shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame too. I'm a little bit of a hater on this class. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, Milbester, but I don't see these two guys the same way as you because I watched basketball in the 80s and the 90s, and to me, these guys are not the same kind of level stars as the ones I saw back then. I'm sorry. Dwight Howard's no Shaquille O'Neal. And Carmelo Anthony, to me, who would be the right person? To me, he's no Larry Bird. Let's just put it that way. I just don't see these guys as stars in some ways. Sure, they're stars. Carmelo, he was a style icon. In some ways, Carmelo was more famous not for his basketball, but for being an icon of like other things too. I don't know. And Dwight Howard's a joke, man. Dwight Howard was good in his Orlando years early on, but man, the more and more his career went on, the more garbage he played. And honestly, I think that he tarnished his career because of the last few years he played in the NBA. And that's what I remember him for. All this stuff early. I really do not think Dwight Howard's a Hall of Famer. I think this is a joke that they made him a Hall of Famer this weekend. Seriously. I think it's a joke. He should have never been in there. Never should have been in there. Trevor J saying it's a funny poster with the Statue of Liberty in the Blue Jays outfit. Awesome. I like that. I like that. I know New York people probably ain't gonna like that. No, they ain't gonna like that, Trevor. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying, so just think of the combination of Ulrich and Sandro together at the 4 and 5. What better confidence is to play with players that complement your game? This is interesting vision. I'm thinking about it. All right, so who's the 4 and the 5? That's ambiguous. They're kind of the same size player. You know, in some ways, Sandro's more experienced, so maybe he plays the 5, and then Ulrich can rove as the 4. In some ways, that's very opening up things for Ulrich. But I would say that's a switch that you could go either way. You could say that Shamshay's the 5 and Sandro's the 4. You know, you go either way with those two on that, like right there. Yeah. What better confidence it is to play with players that complement your game. Yeah, I mean, we still have to discover who Shamshay is. We don't totally know who he is yet. We know defensive stuff. Yeah, he can shot block like crazy. He can rebound like crazy. But there's an offensive game that's going to be unearthed by him over the years that in some ways will tell us exactly what his role is. Because in some ways he has offensive potential. The other thing about Shamshay that people don't realize is he's a really good passer. Like, he's really good at passing. We've seen some crazy wraparound passes. He's even done some bounce passes. Like, he's very good passer. And in some ways, that's really good for the future under Darko, is we need these guys to be good passers. And if Shamshay came in, he wasn't a very good passer, probably we wouldn't have put him down as a long-term project for us. That vision of being able to pass and find the passes is very crucial for Ulrich on Toronto. Very, very crucial. That's right. Nako saying Mamu has to have played on Wemby-esque role at some point. Well, this is the thing. He played for the Spurs last year, and we know Victor is not a true center. He has the same problem that Christian and Chris have. He's too easy to push around. In some ways, he can't play center because he has no bulk. He's too long and lanky, and he can just be kind of pushed like grass, push the long grass to the side and walk through. Well, push the long grass that Victor Wembanyama is, and you walk through the lane. So Sandro had to play center next to Victor. And Victor would play either 4 or 3. He'd even play 3, but that's probably because he can shoot outside and stand on the outside and stuff like that, Wembanyama. So quite often last year, Sandro was being the center with Victor on the court with him. That's very true, what I just said. That's a big part right there. Shaq saying, plus the unity and the chemistry second unit will help Ulrich in his game. Well, I would say this. Shamshay has his rookie class, and those guys are friends. We saw that group interview with the 5 of them and how chummy they were and funny and like all the funny stuff with Mobo and Battle and Shed and Walter and Shamshay. You know, the more he's around those other 4 guys, the more he feels like he belongs and stuff like that. And you know what? He's going to have those guys at 905 too. I'm telling you right now, Jameson and Jonathan are going to be down there most of the year. Battle and Mobo will be playing for Mississauga most of this year. It's just how it is. In some ways, it's like that's part of the reason why we have the G League team is to keep young players who may not get rotation minutes all of a sudden primed up and getting time and developing and going further. So it's a good thing for J-Mo and J Battle because they're going to get their time on the court regardless of whether they get time on the regular squad. And, Shamshay will be down there with Jameson and Jonathan, and those guys will help. Those guys will help in that way. Milbester saying 2008 men's Olympic basketball team in Hall of Fame was cool to see this weekend. But why they called them the Redeem Team? They're called the Redeem Team because in the 2004 Olympics, USA lost. 2000 Sydney Olympics, Vince Carter, dunk of death, USA won gold at the Olympics in Sydney in 2000. 2004, Athens. That's not what happened. They lost to Argentina and Manu Ginobili. Manu Ginobili and the Argentinian team stole gold from the United States in 2004 at the Olympics. And it's one of the few times the United States has not won the gold medal in the history of NBA players playing since 92 in Barcelona. That was maybe the only time the U.S. has not won the gold at the Olympics. And that's why they call them Redeem Team, because they had to come back and redeem themselves after losing to Argentina in 2004. That's why right there, Milbester. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying, I've been watching Sandro on Georgia, and he complements the 5 positions so good. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, he's a plus skill guy at the 5. He's a plus passer. He's a really good defender, really good rebounder, and he can shoot the 3, which is fantastic. He's a very reliable 3-point shooter. So it's going to be fun. Where you guys are going to see. I just want to see. This is the thing. Sandro's a basketball player. He's not limiting himself with labels. In some ways, I've heard him saying in interviews that like he wanted to learn all the different things on the court. He didn't want to limit himself to just big man skills. So that's why he's a good ball handler. That's why he's a good passer. That's why he shoots 3s. So I'm telling you, man, in some ways on the download, Sandro Mamu is one of the cheap options on a jack of all trades kind of center in this league. In some ways, there's a reason why these teams he's played on are very sad he's gone. Milwaukee did not want to lose him. The Bucks fans still love him. And they're like, man, we need Sandro back. Sandro was awesome. Spurs fans are really upset that he's gone to Toronto this summer. They're talking about this is just like when Jakob went to Toronto. Now they got Sandro in Toronto too. Oh, man, this feels like Yak again. That's what Spurs fans have been saying recently. That's a good sign. That's a good sign that those old teams he's played on, both the fan nations love him so much. They're like, man, we want Sandro back. That's a good sign. I'm telling you right now, man. Randolph Phillips is here. Good morning to Randolph. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. You are uniquely positioned to do great exploits. Your place in the world has been chosen for you. You are special. There you go. I love it. Those are great words of encouragement and the words of wisdom from our great friend Randolph. Blessings to Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families out there. That's right. Uniquely positioned. We are designed to do something in this life. We have a calling. We have a cause. We have a purpose. Find your purpose and go towards it and do it more because the world needs you now more than ever. My purpose is to speak like I do, is to say the silly, stupid shit that comes out of my mouth every morning at 9:30 a.m. on YouTube. That is my purpose. I am an orator. I am a person who has the gift of gab, the ability to say things from my head really fast out my. I'm not scripted. I have some cliff notes. Maybe I have some ideas of what I'm talking about, but sometimes things just come into my head and they come out of my mouth unfiltered. That's just part of my skills. This is what I got to do. This is what I'm doing on this channel right here. That's right. I love you, Randolph. And blessings to the Philip family, all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. You are special. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying, don't get me wrong. I love his game because he's not a selfish player and his IQ is on another level. That's true. And he also has that Kurt Rambis, Dennis Rodman, I'm going to get after it kind of hustle. That blue collar hustle. I'm going after and getting that ball. He's not a lazy player. That's the thing. He gets after it. And that'll fit in really well with our team of dogs. Scotty Barnes don't want to lay on his laurels. He wants to get after it. Elijah Martin will get after it. Jamal Shead gets after it. Sandro Mamu gets after it. That's what I'm saying. He's in the club of getting after it, like the Raptors like to do. He's not going to be a lazy ass standing around like Cat on New York. No, he's going to be getting after it. And that's a calling card of being a Toronto Raptor right now. You better get after it because Coach Darko ain't going to play you if you don't. That's right. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying another thing I love about Sandro is his confidence, which will help Ulrich. Yeah, he's a happy-go-lucky guy. He's a very personable guy. You know, being a Georgian guy, a European guy, he has a lot of experience and culture. And, you know, he's fun. Like, he's the kind of guy, I'm telling you, he's a funny guy probably. And he'll be good for the locker room. I've heard he's a good locker room guy. Like, seriously, you want characters in your locker room. You want Grady Dick in there being goofy white boy stuff. Yeah, it's like AJ Lawson said on Hello and Welcome podcast, man. Grady's so funny, man. Grady's so goofy, bro. Seriously, did you see him at UCLA with Jamal Shead? He put his head in that lion's mouth. He's so funny, man. That's what AJ was saying. You know, you need those kind of guys. Sandro Mamu's a fun guy. He's a very personable, nice person. He's going to fit in real nice, man. And once again, like I said, he knows RJ already. It's not like he's coming in blind and he doesn't have a friend. RJ Barrett's there to have his back, somebody he trusts already. So that's important. It's that kind of stuff. That's important. Milbester's saying, well, wasn't it the same with the 1992 Dream Team? Not really, because, all right, this is the thing. With the 1992 Dream Team, the greatest basketball team ever assembled, all the other teams, bullshit. No NBA teams, nothing. The best team ever assembled, the best 12 players ever assembled in the history of basketball ever in the time in the world is the original 1992 Barcelona Dream Team led by Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, John Stockton, Scottie Pippen, Karl Malone, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Christian Laettner, Chris Mullin. Who else was on that team? Charles Barkley. Yeah, that's the greatest team ever assembled in the history. Not the Redeem team, not any of these teams since, not DeMar and Kyle's 2016 Rio team, not the team last year for USA at the Olympics. No, the greatest team in the history of basketball is the Dream Team of 1992, the Dream Team, and they're the only Dream Team. They can call every other team something else, Redeem Team, this team, whatever, but there's only one Dream Team, and that was 92 Barcelona. And you have to understand what that was like at that time. They beat Angola by 90. They beat Angola by 90. They messed people up. Seriously. And they took turns doing it too. And it was just like a crazy ass team. It was so good, man. It wasn't the same with the Dream Team because in 1988 at the Olympics, there were no pros playing. There's only college players playing in the Olympics at that time. They changed the rules between 1988 and 1992. And that was the first year they could put pros in there. And that's why that Dream Team was so badass, because all of them wanted to come. All the greatest players in the NBA wanted to come and be on the Dream Team, including Isaiah Thomas, who was not allowed to be on the Dream Team, partly because of Michael Jordan, bastard for that. But that's why, because in 1988, Nah, bro. The team for USA was all college players. There was no NBA players playing in the Olympics at that time. Not at all. So that's why. That's right. Christian Laettner made it Hall of Fame and was on that team, but he never had an NBA Hall of Fame career. As far as Duke goes, he was good in college. Yeah, that dream team deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, trust me. And Christian deserves to be in there for being on that team. He was a part of that team and he did play and he did things to help them. You know, Christian Laettner's NBA career is actually underrated. It was long and he was the man for Atlanta Hawks and Minnesota Timberwolves and different other places he played. You know, he wasn't a Hall of Fame NBA player, no, but he was on a Hall of Fame Olympic team. And just like Carlos Boozer, he's a Hall of Famer for that reason. So, yeah, Christian Laettner was very good at Duke also. And they won some championships, him and Grant Hill. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with Laettner being a Hall of Famer. He's on the dream team. He may have been the worst player on the dream team, but he was still on the dream team. Let's just put it that way. That's a big deal. Milbester saying, I do laugh out loud. Yankees won the series versus Blue Jays at home this weekend. We lost the first game, but we still won the next 2 games to win the series. But still 2 games back of AL East with 3 weeks in the season. Yeah, these games are important. Yeah, I watched a little bit of the game yesterday as I was at my family gathering and they had it on. And I was like, man, I can't watch this because if I watch this, they'll lose. And they did. They lost. I was like, man, I can't watch the Blue Jays. I'm trying to stay away. You know, I love the Blue Jays so much. I will sacrifice my ability to watch them so that they can be great. Seriously. I don't want to watch them because I don't want to hurt them because every time I watch them, they start losing. So I stay away from Blue Jays. I don't even watch them, Milbester. I want them to win. I want them to beat the Yankees, but man, as soon as I turn that TV on or it comes on, man, they lose. And they had it on in the 9th inning when I came over. And I'm like, the Blue Jays game's on. And then they lost. It is what it is. I'm not watching them. And you know what? Even if they get in the playoffs and they get really far in the playoffs, I won't watch it. I want to help them. And staying away is the way I do it. I know that sounds really weird. And like, yeah, you're crazy, Lex. That you don't have any bearing on that. I don't know. In some ways, if I don't pay attention to them, they seem to do better when I'm not watching, is what it seems like. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Milbester saying also AL wildcard race is extremely close with 8 teams in it for 3 spots, but at least your Toronto Blue Jays are in a good spot going to the playoffs as division or wildcard. October in Toronto is crazy. Why do you think October in Toronto is crazy? No, we just got forecasted to have extended summer now into November. Seriously. I saw something on Facebook yesterday saying that now weather experts are saying, even though we've had a little bit of a chill in the last 2 weeks at the end of summer right now, like right now is not the warmest here. There's heat that's going to come back. And apparently we're going to get a longer summer still, guys. It's not going to be totally summer, but it's going to hold off winter. And we should have fall-like conditions almost to December is what I'm hearing. So yeah, October in Toronto is crazy because we have been there a lot for the Blue Jays and we're ready to be in October. Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. That's right. Let's go. Let's go, Dave Winfield. That's right. Let's go. Milbester saying, Lex, I saw a podcast recently of Juan Guzman. Oh, that's a good old classic Blue Jay ace from the back in the day. I like Juan Guzman, and he's Dominican. He was a great pitcher in the 80s and 90s who was on those 2 Blue Jays World Series championship teams in 92 and 93. It was cool to see as well. No, I love Juan Guzman. I remember him. I watched him play a lot. He's a very strong man. A very, very good pitcher. Man, I forgot about Juan Guzman. I'm glad you brought him up. I was a fan of his, and I was watching the Blue Jays then, and he was awesome. Juan Guzman is awesome. I'm glad to hear that he's doing great. Seriously, yeah. And once again, man, there's so many Dominicans in the league. Come on now. That's not special. You know that's not special, Milbester. You know that the Dominicans in the MLB are like a huge percentage. I think they're like a quarter of the league, if not 30% of the league is Dominican. It seems like it. There's so many Dominicans. I mean, Santo Domingo by itself. I mean, you got Manny Ramirez, you got David Ortiz, you got Albert Pujols, you got all these guys just from one city. What's his name? The pitcher, Pedro Martinez. You know, they got all these guys from Dominican, man. All from Dominican. That's right. Smooth saying, is Chris Bosh really deserving to be in the Hall of Fame, though? Ooh, spicy question by Smooth. I like it. I'm going to give him a dunk just for questioning that. I love it. Yeah, I mean, I understand for the redeem team, but him getting in originally, I'm like, that was kind of weird to me. I mean, I know he won a couple championships in Miami and his stats are pretty good, but I always thought that it was kind of shady that he was in too. But being a Raptors fan, I didn't want to raise the alarm on that because in some ways, him going in as a former Raptor, one of the Raptors Naismith Hall of Famers, I don't want to tarnish that, but in some ways, I would question this too, like Reggie's doing right here. Is Chris Bosh really deserving to be in the Hall of Fame for his career? Not for the Redeem team. I'll agree that Redeem team should go in the Hall of Fame, and him being in for that's great. But him getting in originally for his work in the NBA on the Raptors and on Miami Heat, I mean, he is a two-time champion. He was like a franchise leader on our team with a lot of the stats. And, but I don't know. In some ways, I have a grudge against him. I'd be kind of negative to say about it. Okay, as a member of the Redeem team, yeah, he agrees with me. Redeem team, that makes sense. I understand that. But his body of work, Hall of Fame, really? Really? I know. I'm kind of with Reggie on this. I'm kind of with you on this. I'm like, is Chris Bosh really a Hall of Famer? If Alex English isn't a Hall of Famer, why is Chris Bosh? Oh, he's got 2 championships. That's part of it, right? Yeah, really? 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 Milbester's saying this now. Hang on. Wow, Milbester, you filled it up, man. I do have 40 minutes, but you really filled it up. Milbester said, I know you're a Blue Jays fan, Lex, but that 92 and 93 World Series back-to-back championship teams were ridiculous. Y'all had 3 Hall of Famers in Henderson, Molitor, and Winfield with many great players. You don't even have just 3 Hall of Famers, man. Go look at that roster more. There's more than that on there, man. Isn't Joe Carter a Hall of Famer? He should be. If Joe Carter's not in the Hall of Fame of MLB and at Cooperstown, what the fuck is MLB doing? Joe Carter wasn't Jack Morris on our team then too? Jack Morris was around then. That ace from Minnesota Twins, he was on our team. I mean, let's not even get into it. Like John Olerud, Devon White. Geez, come on now. Kelly Gruber. There are so many good players. Tony Fernandez. We had a lot of good players on those World Series teams. Good pitchers. We had David Wells. We had Dwayne Ward. We had Tom Hankey. We had Henkin. We had so many good players around the early 90s. And we were hiring the mercenaries like Dave Winfield, like Ricky Henderson. We were hiring them mercenaries. We were paying for championships at that time. We got them. 92 and 93. We invested in the team and went all out and spent the money. And that was Ed Rogers the second, Ted Rogers, that went all out like that. My cousin I was hanging out with yesterday at the family, he knows Ed Rogers through a friend, Ed Rogers the third. Yeah. My cousin's a kind of a big deal. He has a lot of wheelings and dealings in business and all kinds of stuff. And he kind of hobnobs with certain people. Well, a friend of his golfs with Ed Rogers III, apparently. And his friend told him that Ed Rogers is one of the cheapest people he's ever met in his life. Seriously. And this is who's in charge of the Raptors and the Jays and the Leafs. He's very, very cheap. That's the one thing he would say about Ed Rogers III. He's so cheap, and he loves to make money off everybody on the cable bills, but he's absolutely an asshole with being cheap and not wanting to spend. Well, I hope that Keith Pelly can get him to open up that checkbook for big superstars like Scotty Barnes, Austin Matthews, and Vlad Guerrero, because we want to win in Toronto with our sports teams. And in some ways, you got to pay to play. And Ed Rogers, if you want good business, you want to see an economic boon like the 2019 Toronto Raptors championship, well, you're going to have to give us a good team to compete with. That's what you got to understand. But yeah, my cousin yesterday saying, yeah, Ed Rogers is cheap ass. Yeah, he's an asshole too, is what they were saying. It's like, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. Milbester saying Robinson and Rivera have same number, 42, Lex, and Yankees have both numbers retired as Hall of Fame. All 30 teams have Jackie Robinson's number retired. Yeah, and rightfully so. Mariano Rivera was grandfathered in. I shouldn't use that term. He was allowed in past with that number when they did the league-wide retirement of 42 for Jackie. And he was allowed to still wear it. And of course, he's a legend as a closer for the Yankees. Of course, he had to get his number retired too. So yeah, there's 2 42s on the wall for the Yankees. And the Nuggets can do it too. They can do it too. And they probably will. Honestly, they probably will. Carmelo is a Nick. Yeah, I don't know. Is it a Nick or a Nugget? He's a Knick. I think you're right. I think that Carmelo Anthony is more associated with New York in some ways than Denver. But Denver people will still want Carmelo to an extent. I don't know. Maybe they've cast him aside for Jokic. I don't know. Milbester saying George Karl congratulated Carmelo on Hall of Fame too, and his first coach in Denver. But we know Karl coached the '90s Sonics teams. Yeah, and the allegations about Coach Karl in the recent weeks are really disturbing. Nancy Lieberman, of all people, former WNBA. Well, no, she never played in the WNBA. She's former women's basketball player, is one of the greatest ever. Nancy Lieberman said that she coached on the staff with George Karl, and he's absolutely a racist piece of shit. Like, seriously, it's crazy. The allegations about George Karl that have come out is kind of like making me sad because I never realized about George Karl. Because I feel like George Karl was a good coach, watching him coach the Sonics and a lot of different teams. But apparently, behind the scenes, he was absolutely a racist. And he said some crazy ass things. He used terms that he shouldn't have. And Nancy Lieberman called him out on it on a podcast. That's sad, man. George Karl, why are you a racist, you piece of shit? Why are you racist, man? I don't know. Let's see. The NBA Hall of Fame is a joke. Yeah, WWE Hall of Fame is a joke too. So you know what I did? I started my own Wrestling Hall of Fame on Facebook. Yeah, I did. I'm serious. I've been running it for 4 years now. And we do a vote every month in our Pro Wrestling Classics Hall of Fame is vote. And this month we're doing little people. We're having a vote between 5 little people wrestlers from the history of the classic wrestling. It's like Sky Lolo, Lil Beaver, Lord Littlebrook, Mascarita Sagrata, and Lil Diamond. And Diamond Lil, yeah, and one of those 5 nominees will get voted into our Hall of Fame. Our hall has it has really bona fide good people. Like the first person we put in was Andre, then we put in Hogan, then we put in Flair, then we put in like Bret Hart, Macho Man, Roddy Piper. You know, we really are hitting all the big names, and the best of the best gets in. So yeah, Hall of Fames can be a joke, especially when Vince McMahon is making WWE Hall of Fame a joke. And baseball Hall of Fame, basketball Hall of Fame, sometimes these can be jokes because favoritism. Maybe there's somebody gets in that shouldn't really be in. Then it's kind of a joke. Yeah. Yeah. Milbester saying Dwight Howard was the number 1 overall pick in 2004. Who cares? There's a lot of number 1 picks that didn't do jack shit that shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Andrea Bargnani should be in the Hall of Fame by that. I mean, seriously, come on now. He came a year after the class of 2023, the greatest draft among many. Carmelo was well honored for me. You know, I don't respect Dwight Howard. In some ways, I felt like there's a couple of things he did just near the end of his career I absolutely don't respect. And one of them was trying to join the Lakers and get a championship right at the end with Steve Nash and all that. I thought that was such a joke. And that was such a failure, honestly. That Lakers super team with Nash and Howard was such a joke. It was a horrible team. And in some ways, I'm Team Shaq, man. As much as Shaq is a bully, and sometimes I don't like Shaq, I'm on Shaq's side when it's Dwight versus Shaq. Because honestly, Shaq, he's got a gripe with Dwight Howard for a long time that he's ripping him off with the Superman stuff. And in some ways, he's right. Shaq had that Superman tattoo on his arm way before Dwight Howard tried to do the Superman shit. And that's part of the reason why they had that whole beef. It's because Dwight Howard showed up at the dunk contest one year with a Superman costume on. And Shaq was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You know, it's kind of like in wrestling. You have a gimmick or a finisher. You don't want other people to use it. That's kind of what this is. And in some ways, Dwight Howard kind of stepped on Shaquille O'Neal's toes with some of his imagery. Let's just put it that way. Now, you know, Jake the Snake Roberts don't want everybody doing the DDT. So he's protective of it. He's like, no, man, why are you doing DDT? That's my move. That's my finisher. Yo, man, I'm the Russian in this territory. I'm Nikita Koloff. What are you trying to do in here, man? Khrushchev. You're not going to be the Russian in NWA Georgia Wrestling in the mid 80s. I'm Nikita Koloff. No, you get out of here, Khrushchev. You know, people try and gimmick infringement. You know, there's a problem. And that's what happened. Howard gimmick infringement on Shaquille O'Neal. And Shaquille, in some ways, is like, bro, what are you trying to do, man? And he tried to set him straight on it. And Dwight was kind of cheeky about it. Oh, come on, Shaq. I could just do whatever I want in my life. Come on, it's a free country. And Shaq's like, shut the fuck up. I'm the Superman, motherfucker. This is kind of what he was saying to him. And in some ways, I will look at Shaq. I'll look at Dwight Howard and I'll say, yeah, I'm picking Shaq. Shaq's a bona fide top tier NBA mega force. And Dwight Howard was for a while in the beginning in Orlando, but he changed over his career. Now, Shaq did get worse too when he got older too, but it was a totally different kind of thing. In some ways, Howard was not trying in his later career. I could tell. He was really lazy, really, really lazy. Smooth saying they should vote players in like the MLB. If they don't get the required number of votes, they don't get in. Yeah, maybe. If that system works well, my system for my Hall of Fame is I have a committee of 5. We have a rotating committee. We have actually like 8 guys, or no, it's more than that. It's like 10 or something. And what happens is every 6 months, we rotate a couple of the members out. And we have 5 people that nominate every month. And each of us has one person we can put forward and nominate. And the 5 nominees go on a poll in the Facebook group. And all the members of the group in the Facebook group, we have like 50,000 members. They vote, and whichever of the 5 nominees we put forward gets in. That's how we really distill it to make sure we get the highest quality. The 5 nominees should all be top notch and should be very worthy of the Hall of Fame, but only 1 out of the 5 will get in. And that's how we know we get the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop, Macho Man. Oh, yeah. And that, that's important, because we don't want to be Hall of Fame people that are just like, nah, man. This is the way we get quality, is we have this system. There's 5 good nominees. And, well, only the best of those 5 will get in. That's right. So it's very interesting to see what happens with our votes sometimes. I'm very curious to see what happens this month with the little people vote. I'm very, very curious. We want to add a little person wrestler. And Hornswoggle is not qualified because he's not classic. He was too recent. We do not put anybody in past 2003. That's right. That's right. Let's keep going. Let's see. Bester saying Melo won 3 gold medals and 10-time All-Star Lex and was such a good scorer and one of the best isolation players in our generation. He was the most clutch player in the fourth quarter ever. That's a lie right there. Let's see. Melo won 3 gold medals. That's true. I would make the argument that Carmelo Anthony has more of a Hall of Fame career in FIBA than in the NBA. Yeah. I mean, I don't doubt that he's a Hall of Famer. I'm not saying the same thing about him as Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard, I don't think is a Hall of Famer. I think Carmelo is a Hall of Famer. I think he is. But I think most of his Hall of Fame argument comes from his play for USA. I think that's where it comes from. 10-time All-Star, okay, whatever. He's in the LeBron club. They put on the All-Star game. All these guys, Dwayne and Chris Paul and LeBron and Carmelo, the Banana Boat guys. Yeah, they're going to be in the All-Star game because that's just how it is. He was a good scorer. I will give you that. He was one of the best ISO players in our generation. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that too. He was one of the most clutch players in the fourth quarter ever. Yeah, all right, I'll give you a little bit of that too. But he never won. He never freaking won. And in some ways, teams he was on were never that successful, partly because of him. I'm gonna make that argument every time. It's the same argument I make about Allen Iverson. It's like, yeah, these guys are great scorers. They're fantastic NBA players, but did their teams win with them contributing what they do for their team? No, they didn't. Carmelo Anthony was not a winning player. That's just the damn truth. If he was so great and so amazing, Milbester, he would have won championships. He didn't. So what the fuck was wrong? Well, he's another one of these high usage guys that have to shoot a lot and take away from his teammates to be as good as he is. It's selfish. It's very, very selfish. In some ways, I think Carmelo Anthony's a very selfish NBA player because he got his, but getting his did not contribute to the whole bigger picture of success. I don't mind people going to get his. Like, I want Brandon Ingram to go get his this year, but it's going to be in a winning sense that contributes to getting the W for the whole team. And half the time, the stuff that Carmelo Anthony was doing in his career was selfish and self-aggrandizing for himself and his own stats and not necessarily for winning for the team. Yep, that's it. That right there. Milbester saying Melo has the most points in a game for the Knicks with 62. That's impressive. And I watched that game. Carmelo was such a streaky scorer, but the ISO game, he was a master and always contested against players, made him the best. Yeah, I don't think he's the best at anything. Nothing. I can't say that. I can't say he's the best. And you even say it here. He was a streaky scorer. That's another problem I have with him. You need to be consistent night in, night out. Michael Jordan was there every night for his team, and he did not have off nights. No, he didn't. There's too many players in this league that are considered great players, and they're actually streak shooters, and they're actually not great players. Jamal Murray, he is a great player, but he's a streak shooter. And in some ways, you cannot depend on him every single night. Gary Trent Jr. is a good example of a streak shooter and somebody that you just cannot consistently expect what you're going to get every night. Now, in the 80s, we had players that were superstars that were consistent. And every single night, you could chalk in Charles Barkley for 20 points and 10 rebounds. Now, Carmelo, could you chalk him in on the box score every single night that he played for a certain contribution? No, because sometimes he'd be off. And it may be like a 6-point or 8-point or 12-point game for him instead of a 20 to 30-point game. That's another thing I judge people on. I want consistency. I want money in the bank. I want people that I know when they show up to the court, they are going to give me what they're going to give me consistently night in, night by basis. And there's no fluctuation. There's no like, oh, this is a disappearing night for this person. I don't give a shit if you can score 35 on one night and then you score 8 points for 4 games, Gary Trent. I want to see you do 20 every single night and not have one night off. That's what I'm saying right there. And in some ways, Carmelo was in that territory, is what I'm saying. So we're saying the NBA is mandated to have Hall of Fame inductions every year, like the NFL. That's why it's a joke. I could care less about it. There you go. I like Reggie's dismissing it. Yeah, let's do this. And let's hate on it the year after Vince Carter got in. Last year, we were all about the Hall of Fame ceremony. Like, yeah, it's cool. Vince is in. And so this year, I was okay with Vince getting the Hall of Fame. I wasn't as okay with him getting his jersey retired by the Raptors. But he definitely should go in as the Hall of Fame. I mean, the Air Carter effect, the dunk contest, the longevity of his career. Sure. Yeah, Smooth saying, no offense to anyone who likes it, though. No, I'm with you, Smooth. I'm sitting with you. I mean, if you ain't going to do the Hall of Fame right and have creme de la creme quality like the Pro Wrestling Classics Hall of Fame on the Facebook that I run, well, what are you even doing with your life? We want people that are actual Hall of Famers get in there and not jokers. That's what I'm saying. Not jokers. That's right. Bill Bester's saying, if there's one player I would want to take game-winning shot in the game, late in the game, like Melo has done many times, I would take Carmelo Anthony all day, every day. If he had went to the Heat, he wins the title. That may be true. I mean, if he was able to go and join those other guys, I wonder if LeBron and Dwayne are like, man, we should have picked Carmelo instead of Chris. I don't know. It's true. But that whole move to go to South Beach was so lazy by those guys. I mean, I lost respect for LeBron and Chris Bosh, obviously Chris Bosh, for going to South Beach, taking their talents to South Beach. If Carmelo had done that too, oh my gosh, the respect I would have lost for him, the very little respect I have for him already, would be completely lost after that. I do appreciate Carmelo's podcast that he's doing right now. I feel like he's interesting to listen to. And I feel like he's keeping it real. And I like that he's had some good guests on there, people that I like. Yeah, I don't want to hate Carmelo. It's just I'm not a big fan of his either. In some ways, I feel like he gets so much accolades and stuff like that that I don't totally understand. Let's just put it that way. But maybe it's people like Milbester. That's why. It's people like the Milbester saying all this kind of stuff. Man, yeah. Milbester's saying, but at least Melo didn't join the super team in Miami. Yeah, I would have lost respect for him, just like Kevin Durant. When LeBron went to South Beach to join Wade and Bosh, Melo was super close to joining that team, and he didn't want to be a fourth player on that team. Yeah, he's smart. It would have looked bad. It would have looked really bad. It would have really, really looked bad. Yeah. Milbester saying Melo would have won an NBA championship in 2009 if it wasn't for Kobe and Gasol with the Lakers when Denver lost to them in Western Conference Finals. That may be true. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. We'll never know. But Kobe wanted it more, and that's what happened. Yeah, Trevor's saying, I think the Raptors' first game is with Atlanta. I'm going to go so can see my family who lives there. That's awesome. Yeah, I was telling my dad, who's up visiting me right now, that if they want to go see the Raptors in Atlanta when they come to town, because they went last year and they had a blast, my nephew and my brother and my dad, that they need to go at the beginning of the season. The first game of the season is Atlanta game in Atlanta. And then we are going to play them in the in-season tournament very shortly into the season also. So both our games in Atlanta, Georgia are going to happen like in the first month of the season. And one of them is the beginning of the season. And then the second one is an in-season tournament game on a Friday night. And I'd tell you, my dad who's listening right now, maybe you should go to the in-season tournament game. That's a big hyped up game. And maybe Carl would be interested in taking, nephew and you to that game and being a part of the in-season tournament. In-season tournament, special game. Only a few of those games during the season. Extra special. That's right. Let's see. I'd love for you to go. You should go, Trevor. Milbester's saying, laugh my ass off. Lex, I saw on Twitter a post of Landry Shamet, and he was at the U.S. Open as a photographer. Laugh out loud. He was with the Knicks this season. Yeah, I remember. I saw the new NBA on NBC commercial from Sunday Night Football last night. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, NBA on NBC. Yeah, I mean that commercial. They had the music like that on it. They better. That would make more sense if they're doing the AI voice of the guy, the NBA on NBC. They better fucking make the music too. They're gonna AI drag this guy out of the grave and make his voice on there, recreated. That's so crazy and kind of morbid, guys. Are we just gonna live in this world at some point where a lot of the voices on TV are just dead people that are just kept alive because their voices kept alive on AI? Are we going to go towards that? Seriously? We're not even going to give jobs to people anymore for voice acting. It's just going to all be AI. That's scary. If you ask me, that's scary. There's no new jobs for people because these corporations want to cut corners. Ed Rogers, cheap as fuck. He was going to fire a whole bunch of people in the call center at Rogers and put people out of jobs to give them for AI. And even the voice acting jobs will be like that. All the cartoons will be voiced by AI. All the little kids will watch like Hello Kitty, and Hello Kitty's a fucking robot speaking from AI. That's scary, man. Do you like that world I'm describing to you? Well, let's fight it. Let's beat this dystopia. The power of the people. Let's get out in the streets like they did this weekend. And let's make the rules. And that's not let the oligarchs and the corporations make the rules. Fuck that. We're the people. We have the power. We'll make it. We'll make the rules. That's right. That's right. Pedro was your guy. So you liked Pedro Martinez, eh? Yeah. Even though he's Boston's Red Sox. Even though he's Boston. Wow. You like Pedro. Interesting. Yeah. Mel Bester saying, I forgot Jack Morris. Yeah. Jesus. L. Leiter, David Wells. Yeah. We had a lot of good players, man. We had David Cohn for a while in the 90s too. We had David Cohn, Mets legend. We would get guys from different places. Like we'd get guys from the Braves. We were getting guys like, Fred McGriff and Otis Nixon came through and played for the Blue Jays for a little while. We had a lot. I knew a lot about the Blue Jays in the 80s and 90s because I was following them pretty closely. And I have a lot of old baseball cards, a lot of old Blue Jays cards. I got an Ernie Witt card somewhere, stuff like that. Yeah, Cream Thomas saying Melo is a nugget. That's all right. Let's do this. We got a little bit of contention here on the stream. Good to see the butt dialer. Cream Thomas is in the chat. Is Melo? What is Melo? We're just gonna say that. What is Melo? What is Melo? And we'll write in Denver or New York. And we'll see what the poll says. This is democratically decided. All right, Milbester, you get your vote in, and you go ahead and do it too, Kareem Thomas. Who is what? Y'all, please vote in this. Oh, it's going back and forth. It's 50-50. It's going back and forth. 50-50. Woo! We got to see who gets this one. That's right. Let's see. All right, let's keep going in the chat. Really happy to see so many comments in here. Let's see. Kareem saying also the Lil Clowns need to be in your Hall of Fame as well. The Lil Clowns? Oh, you mean like Dink? Dink? Yeah, that was Tiger Jackson who was playing Dink, the clown, Doink's little buddy. Yeah, Tiger Jackson was actually talked about as being nominated. The Hall of Fame committee was talking about who should be nominated, and his name was bantied around a little bit, but he didn't make the final cut for the top 6. So it's the official ballot is Little Beaver, Lord Littlebrook, Sky Lolo, Masquerada Sangrada, which is the mini luchador guy, the white mask guy. He's funny. And then Diamond Lil. And Diamond Lil's an interesting. She's a female little person wrestler. She was actually nominated by a member in our group that is a little person himself. And Diamond Lil was basically like Fabulous Moolah's daughter. She lived with Moolah, and she was like her little person wrestler that toured with her. And Diamond Lil actually appeared on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart in 1999 with Moolah. And Moolah like introduced her as her little daughter, and she came out on stage on Jon Stewart's show. So Diamond Lil's an interesting wrestler because she was like one of the only female Lil people wrestlers. in like the 60s and 70s. And she was around Moolah a lot. In fact, she's still alive. Diamond Lil's still alive. I think she's about 90 years old. And there's a plot in the ground in South Carolina, in Columbia, near Moolah's grave that's all ready for her to go into when she passes eventually. So it's kind of interesting. Y'all can look up Diamond Lil and check out. But yeah, who would you vote for in our Hall of Fame Lil People poll for this year, for this month? Who would you vote for? Lil Beaver? Would you vote for Lord Littlebrook? Lil Beaver got squashed by King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 3 at the Silverdome. This is a good one. Sky Low. You guys like Sky Low? Actually, two of them are Canadian. Sky Low and Lil Beaver are both Canadian guys. So yeah, one of the two Canadian guys will probably get in. Lord Littlebrook is English, and I think Diamond Lil's American, and Masquerita is all, of course, Mexican. So we have a pretty diverse group there. Yeah. Blackhawk saying, yes, Superman was taken by Shaq, but what were the alternatives? Captain America, the Bionic Man? I could buy that. Dwight Howard, the Bionic Man? That doesn't wear the freaking cape? I don't know. In some ways, maybe Shaq's a jerk for being kind of like, that's my trademark. Like Superman belongs to Jerry Seinfeld too. Doesn't he love Superman too on the Seinfeld show? He had Superman statues in his apartment, and there was some Superman iconography around the Seinfeld TV sitcom. Superman is Superman, created by Canadian. I don't know if many Americans know that the Superman was created by a Canadian person. He's a Canadian invention. He's not an American invention. A Canadian man invented Superman. So we should be proud of that. I don't know. Maybe Shaq's wrong for this. I just thought that Shaq was more real deal Holyfield. I know Dwight was trying to honor Shaq, and in some ways he looked up to him, and Shaq rejected him. In some ways that's kind of wrong. It's like, no, man, you're not like me. You can't be like me. Come on now. Is what Shaq's attitude was. And Dwight was like, come on, man. I like you, man. I just want to be like honoring you in some ways. He's like, no, you're not honoring me, bro. Is kind of what Shaq was doing. Maybe Shaq was the jerk in this whole thing. I don't know. Either way, in some ways, I like Shaq more than Dwight. That's just how I've been, man. It's just how I've been. Seymour saying, we have the best alumni out of most teams, most, not all. Yeah, Fred, Pascal, DeMar, Kyle. Yep. Yeah, we loving them. That's part of the culture we're trying to build here on the Raptors Freak channel. It's like, look, the fans need to be proud of their team. They need to be proud of their franchise. They need to be proud of their former players. They need to be proud of their achievements, their championships, their Atlantic Division championships. They need to be proud of this kind of stuff. We're proud of our team. People try to teach the Raptors nation not to be proud of our team. Oh, you're a joke. You're the Barneys. You should be laughing at yourself. No. Masai Ujiri came here and put respect on that name called Toronto Raptors. And we run with it still, even in the post-Masai era. So yeah, no. We are to be respected. And if you want to think that Raptors are a butt of a joke, at the bottom of the NBA standings, fuck that. We are not doing that. We're coming up. We're going to be a top 4 Eastern team this year. You're going to see it. And you will respect the Toronto Raptors name this year. That's right. We got the best alumni. Let's have culture. Let's have respect. Let's have love for our culture and our team and our history 30 years in. That's what I'm saying right here. That's right. 100%. That's right. Milbester saying Dwight Howard is Static Shock. He had the same hairstyle as that black superhero. That's cool. I like that. What was that guy that Scotty dressed up as at Halloween? Frozone? Is he like Frozone? What if he put the Frozone costume on? He could look like Frozone. That's not who you want to be in the NBA, though. You don't want to be Where's Waldo. You don't want to be Frozone because you won't want to be cold. Blackhawk saying VC had Mr. Air Canada and half man, half amazing. They worked. So I agree that Dwight could have come up with a name as well that works. Yeah, I get it. Shaq was not cool with this because he really associated himself with Superman in the NBA. And having Dwight kind of step on his toes with that, because the other thing you got to remember is Dwight was coming in when Shaq was still playing. So it wasn't like Shaq had retired and gone off into the pasture. No, he was still out there competing and playing, and Dwight was trying to infringe on his copyright while he was still out there. That's part of it. Seymour saying, fuck all them banana boat. Fuck them. I'm Jamaican Canadian, so I can say that. What going, fam? All right, man. All right, then. All right. Seymour's going to get a dunk for saying fuck the banana boat crew. I love it. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about when I say banana boat, don't you? Y'all remember that summer when all four of those guys were on the same banana boat? It was crazy. It was weird. LeBron, Dwayne, Carmelo, and Chris were all on the same banana boat. It wasn't Chris Bosh. It was Chris Paul. Yeah, it was kind of funny, man. It's kind of funny. I respect Reggie Miller and Charles Barkley more than KD, Bosh, all them ring chasers who had to click up. Exactly. You got another dunk, Seymour. You got two in a row from two comments right in a row. That's a fast, rapid pace right there. 177. Yeah, I love what Reggie said. If Michael Jordan called me up and said, hey, come join me on the Bulls, we'll win championships, I would have told him, fuck you. That's what Kevin Durant should have said to Steph Curry. That's right. That's right. That's what Chris Bosh should have said to LeBron. That's right. That's right. But nah, Chris wanted to go the easy route. Chris Bosh wanted to go the easy route. So he went the easy route. He took his talents to South Beach. Yeah, that's why you lose respect for this kind of shit. Charles Barkley didn't want to go join up with nobody during his career. No, he didn't. He came to Phoenix because he wanted the hell out of Philadelphia. And he got to Phoenix and he just happened to be paired with Kevin Johnson at that time. But it wasn't like he was going to go play with Magic or Michael or Larry or, that kind of stuff. So it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah. Blackhawk's saying this. Dwight had amazing reach when he dunked or went for lobs. He definitely needed a name that immortalized his athletic skills. Yeah. What he should have been. Like, to me, he was amazingly strong. Like, still to this day, I make the comparison. This guy has Dwight Howard's shoulders. That's what I said about Scotty when he came in the draft in his first year in the NBA. I say, whoa, this guy that the Raptors just drafted out of Florida State, he's got Dwight Howard's shoulders. I mean, the receipts are on this channel. You can go see me saying that in the first year of Scotty. He's got Dwight Howard's shoulders. That's a big deal. It's big, strong. I mean, I don't know what they should have called himself. I don't know. I guess he was a big Superman fan. I don't know who you could have been, man. Maybe you should have been Hawkman. Maybe you should have been Flash or a Green Lantern. Hell, you don't want to be Robin. But, I mean, come on. You could have been something. Maybe you should have been Batman. Nobody's been Batman. Is anybody Batman in the NBA? You should have been like, Shaq, you want me to be Superman? I'm going to be Batman. I'm Batman. If he had done that, maybe that would have worked. Maybe you should have just been Batman, Dwight Howard. It would have solved a lot of headaches with you and Shaquille O'Neal. Seriously, you should have just been Batman. Then you guys could have had super friends. You just need to get a couple more guys. This is Aquaman. Yeah, this is Aquaman. Who would be Aquaman? I don't know, man. Yeah, Milbester's saying they had the round ball rock theme. Okay, they did play it. John Tesh. That's right. Yeah, let's see. Neil's saying this. Only one team could win it all. And so I say, do what you got to do. There you go. Oh, you mean just pair up and go take the easy route? One team can win it all. So go super team yourself. That's what Neil's saying. He's all for it. Bester was the first vote. Let's see where it's at. It looks like it's 71% are saying that Melo is New York. Melo is New York, not Denver. There you go. Milbester, you're winning. You're winning your votes right now. 71% are agreeing with you. That's right. We're going mellow yellow. All right, Blackhawk. Mellow yellow. Okay, make sure you get to the bathroom or maybe step outside. Seymour saying Carmelo's best years was at Syracuse. How about that? Oh, boom goes a dynamite. All right, Seymour's on fire. That's 3 in a row right there. That's 3 in a row. This ain't four quarters with Seymour Pape on a Thursday think tank. This is 4 shots of dunks going on this dunk chart right here. 180, man. You just got 3, man. I'll give you the 4th one in a second, man. I'll give you the 4th one in a second. You know what, Syracuse? Yeah, he was a good college player for damn sure. I still think his FIBA international part of his career is the most impressive to me. But yeah, Syracuse, I can't deny that may be second before his NBA career. Seriously. Yeah, Fiercey's laughing at Seymour. I love it. I can't. He's getting dapped. I'm just stirring the pot. You're feisty this Monday morning. I love it. Seymour's back to work, and he's feisty, and he's funny, and he's getting dunks. He's filling it up. He's on fire. All right, let's see if this one gets one too. This might be the 4th one here. Hitting up the print shot today. Gonna order my Raptor Freak t-shirt today. Gonna get that signed and framed after Raptors Calgary practice. There you go. Dude, seriously, I don't mind if you make a Raptors Freak shirt yourself. It's like, seriously, there's no copyright on this. If you want to rep Raptors Freak and you have your own design, you want to make that shirt, Seymour, I have no problem with this. Seriously, I'm not a capitalist. I'm not a person who's trying to make the most money off of everybody else in every way. If you will have joy going to a print shop and making your own Raptor Freak shirts so you can go and see Scotty in Calgary and do this, more power to you. There won't be any problem with me, man. And I love that because you'd be representing me still. Somebody would say, hey, what's your shirt, man? What is that? It was like, oh, this is my YouTube channel I watch in the morning. It's crazy. It's Raptor Freak. And he's talking basketball every single morning, man. I might want to check that out. Okay. All of a sudden, I get more Calgary Raptor Freaks because Seymour went out and bought some shirts. You know, hey, I ain't got no problem with that. I ain't got no problem with that. You guys take some autonomy for yourself. If you want to do this, go ahead. I have no problem with that. Seriously. Seymour's saying, I might use a gray shirt so the signatures show. There you go. That's smart. That's smart. And that'll be special. We did have a couple of specialty colored Raptor Freak shirts. In fact, there is a gray Raptor Freak shirt already that Adriana owns. She's got a gray Raptor Freak shirt that Evelyn only made one of. And I think I ended up giving it to her. So Adriana's got a gray Raptor Freak shirt. Dwayne Wade was Flash. Yeah, that one makes sense. Dwayne Wade was Flash. That's right. So you could have been Hawkman, Carmelo. You should have been Hawkman, or maybe Green Lantern. What if he was like Orange Lantern? I'm on the Knicks. I'm Orange Lantern. Maybe it's like Red Tornado or something like that. I don't know. We're going through DC. It's obviously got to be DC. We're not even opening up the whole Marvel universe here. We're just going DC right here. Green Arrow. I'm Green Arrow. Wait, somebody else is some Blue Arrow. That Blue Arrow is Jamal Murray, right? Blue Arrow. Blue Arrow. Yeah. Is there any other superhero nicknames in the NBA? Let's think about this here. Plastic Man, Stacey Augmon. Yeah, Plastic Man. That was one. That's right. Let's see. Milbester saying, but Melo only played a year in college. If he had won the NCAA national championship in 2003, he doesn't get drafted his first year in college. Yeah, that's part of why he's so successful. He went one and done and won it. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Fiercely saying, any news from Granny Evelyn? How is she? I don't know. Seymour reached out to her about the shirt. I keep wanting to message Evelyn. She messaged me for my birthday last month. I don't know. I should just shoot a message to her and just see how she's doing. I don't know. Blackhawk saying, Lex, you better patent and copyright Raptor Freaks before Seymour has your dino coming out of the strip bar. I don't care about that. I don't care about this, man. I'm a firm believer all publicity is good publicity, you know, either way, good or bad or whatever. In some ways, I don't care. In some ways, it's like, look, there's much more important things to worry about in this world right now. And this kind of stuff is not that important to me, at least. It isn't. I don't know. I'm not going to try and go copyright it. And people say, oh my gosh, now they're going to copyright it. Well, I'll just adjust my channel if somebody does go do that, whatever. I'll adjust things. I can always make things happen. The thing that's proprietary about this channel is me. And they can't copyright me, right? Could they? Are they going to try to? I don't know. They're protecting likenesses in Europe from AI right now. That's pretty good. Milbester's saying this. But Lex, as much as you didn't like Dwight Howard, there is one thing he did help the NBA, and that was that he revived the slam dunk contest and made it exciting again as he won the contest twice. Temporarily, maybe. Nah, the dunk contest got worse again after him. I don't know who you can give credit to reviving the dunk contest. Do you give it to Mac McClung? Do you give it to Gordon and Levine? Who do you give that award to? Seriously, I'd say, yeah, he put on a Superman's cape. He looked goofy, and he dunked it. One thing about Dwight Howard in the dunk contest, it was never that impressive because he's such a huge guy. It's like, oh, okay, he can dunk. Of course he can dunk. He's 6'9", 7 foot almost. Of course he can dunk. I was never that impressed with his dunks in the dunk contest because, to be quite honest, big guys in the dunk contest don't impress me. Mac McClung impresses me because I know that dude is shorter than me, and he's jumping over cars and shit like that. Dwight Howard jumps over a car. I expect that. So I can't give him this either, man. I can't give him this because in some ways the dunk contest went dead after him. again. It's not like he revitalized it. It went dead after him again. And then it was revitalized again in 2016 in Toronto at the All-Star weekend when Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon had an epic, very close dunk contest. Otherwise, a lot of the dunk contests in the 2000s and 2010s sucked. It was like Blake Griffin jumping over a Kia, bullshit like that. Too many props. Dwight Howard was kind of involved in bringing in these props too. So yeah, Seymour saying it wouldn't be where it is if it wasn't for Dwight. I don't agree with that. It wouldn't be where it is right now without Mac McClung. Mac McClung's the guy who brought the attention and the interest into the dunk contest back in the last couple of years. Seymour saying Jamal Murray is in Jamaica running a basketball camp. Salute. We're at 2 hours. I need to do my Instagram stories. You guys keep filling it up. I keep going. Yeah. Sylvester saying, but I know Dominique, Jordan, and Vince were a big part of the contest. I mean, Michael, the original dunkers that were important, Connie Hawkins, people like that, Dr. J, Dr. Duncanstein, Daryl Griffith. Then you get into Jordan and Dominique and Spud. Yeah. And then the Vince era. Yeah. Those are the important ones. Yeah. If you're saying the top 4 dunkers of all time, Vince Carter, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, and Dr. J. It's that simple. Some people might want to add newer people like Mac McClung or Aaron Gordon or people like, what's another guy? Nate Robinson. He was an important dunker for a little while there too, right? That's right. Seymour saying they have a chicken joint here named the Strip Club, and the sign outside says, bring your family, bring your kids. I was confused. But it's a chicken strip spot. Oh, okay. So it says it's a chicken joint, and it says Strip Club on it, but it's chicken strips. It's not like there's women in there stripping. It is a family restaurant. But maybe they want to trick some people coming to the Calgary Stampede. They say, oh, it's a strip club. Come on in. And they come in and it's just a fry cook. That's funny, man. That's funny. All right, there's your 4th dunk right there. All right, you got it. 183 for Seymour getting a quarter of dunks, man. That's 12 points just added to your dunk score today, man. Just from being witty and funny, waking up on the funny side of the bed. 183, man. You're almost over your total for last year. There you go. Kareem saying Michael Porter Jr. is the Riddler. And Josh Primo is the Diddler. Yeah, Josh Primo is the Diddler. Whoa. Ew. Jamal is giving some love back to Jamaica thanks to his father. Booyaka. Yeah, man, I like that. Maybe Jamal Murray. No, we need him on Canada. Oh, is he gonna go play for Norman in Jamaica? I don't know. He's on Canada. That's right. Blake Griffin too. That's right. Blake Griffin. Yeah, he jumped over a car. It was stupid. He's too big. Blake Griffin needed to do a Kia commercial to win a dunk contest. That's stupid, man. I hate that. Dwight and Griffin dominated the contest in the late 2000s, early 2010s. Yeah, they destroyed it. They made it worse because they added too many props. They started doing the prop stuff. They weren't doing all this prop shit. There's a little bit of it in around Vince's era, but none of it in the 80s. And then they started doing this prop shit. And that really was right around Blake Griffin and Nate Robinson and Dwight Howard's time. It really was there. Yeah. Is the chicken sweet? Is the strip club chicken sweet? Ask James Harden. Robert Pack, Kevin Johnson, Robert Pack, Denver Nuggets. Fiercely saying, Seymour, maybe strip club as in chicken strips. I'm hoping that's why. I think that's why. Yes. They're trying to be cute and coy. I thought I'd see women, but it was fried chicken. You need to go to Hooters. Go to Hooters. There you go. All right, let me go do my tabs real quick. Let's see what's on the tabs. Straight goods on Canadian goods, guys. Speaking of women, right? This is really interesting. Straight goods on Canadian goods. And I need to tell y'all right now that Diva Cup is a Canadian company. Diva Cup is a menstrual cup accessory that is made here in Canada, Canadian owned, headquartered and manufactured in Ontario, including cups and accessories. So if you use Diva Cup as a lady, you are supporting Canada. It is a Canadian product. So Diva Cup, if it works for you, I know sometimes women have preferences for this item and what they like, and they just want to do that. I'm not going to tell you not to buy the American stuff if this is what you really like. But if you are able to buy Canadian in this area of purchase, Diva Cup is the way to go, 100% Canadian. All right, just so y'all know. There you go. Straight goods on Canadian goods. That's right. I did menstrual products today. That's right. That's right. We can cover every single subject. We're going to try to. All right, here's the Instagram stories. Teresa Resch was on the red carpet of TIFF with hot dates for the night. Incredible women all making waves in their fields. I don't know who they are, though. I can't tell who they are. I cannot tell. Well, one of them looks like the Dragon's Den girl, but otherwise I can't tell other than Teresa. That's Teresa Resch. I know that. She's wearing a nice blue dress. But yeah, hitting that red carpet at TIFF. TIFF's going on downtown. And once again, Montreal, they're coming. They're coming this weekend. Coming up, 13th and 14th in September. Montreal, Toronto Tempo's arriving. They're going to be doing some events. So come down there and check out Toronto Tempo's events and maybe get some of that inaugural Toronto Tempo gear and start supporting the WNBA team for Canada and Toronto Tempo. That's right. I love it. Kelly Olynyk, what's he doing? He's making fun of a guy who was doing his intros. And this happened a couple years ago. I noticed this. People are getting confused about the University of North Carolina. They are. Do you guys not understand that's an acronym? UNC, University of North Carolina. Some idiot did their NFL introduction for the game, and he went to UNC, and he called it UNC University. Because there's somebody who was online. I saw this on someplace saying, why did they call it UNC? Like, are you UNC? Like, they think it's UNC, like this uncle. Like, that's a short form for calling your uncle UNC. Like my niece and nephew call him, hey, UNC, UNC. They think that UNC is the word UNC. So there's some this is a sign that AI is making people dumber. Seriously. This is a sign that AI is making people dumber already. That young people think that UNC, the acronym for University of North Carolina, is you're supposed to say it as UNC. Oh, why did they go to UNC? What does that mean? Are they an uncle? Are they older? Young people are getting confused with their crazy ass acronyms and stuff like that. No, it's University of North Carolina. But this football player said in his introduction, UNC University. What the hell is going on here, man? What the hell is going on here? UNC University. Seriously, Kelly Olynyk put that on blast. There's Lloyd. Lloyd is quoting a scripture, guys. He's saying Isaiah 43, 18 and 19. Y'all, so go look that up. If you know scripture, Lloyd is saying this on the full moon yesterday, that Isaiah 43, 18, 19, and he's thumbsing up in it. So go check it. If you already know, you know. The Slim Duck was giving back still, and this is what he said. I love this. Chris Boucher, still in Toronto, still giving back to his kids and saying, if I don't make the younger generation believe in themselves, then I fail to be who God wants me to be. Boom. That's what Chris is saying. So he's got to inspire the young kids like him that are in the place where he was to go and achieve like he has. And that's his purpose in life. That's right. See, which is what Randolph's saying. We have purposes in life. We have gifts. We need to go do our mission. And Chris is doing his mission to inspire young people to strive and achieve like he has. And we love you, Chris. And you are amazing. You have an amazing NBA career. He has also posted this. Stop trying to be liked by everyone. You don't even like everyone. It's so true. I love that so much, man. It's amazing, amazing statement. Also, Chris's homer on here saying when everything goes really well for 3 days in a row, he's suspicious. He's suspicious. He's suspicious. Why is everything going so right? He's touched down in Boston, guys, as of 12 hours. Our guy Chris has landed at Boston, Logan, and he is now in the Celtics territory, getting ready to start working out with the Celtics people because he's on the Boston Celtics, y'all. It's kind of crazy, man. Elijah Martin is putting on blast a friend from Wisconsin. Who's that? SF and Nick. Above fear, above doubt, I look to God. There you go. Elijah just want to put him on blast. And Coach Jones of the 905 was happy to meet a legend this weekend at Naismith Hall of Fame ceremony. He met Cynthia Cooper, the original best player in the WNBA. She was the Jordan of the WNBA. She was the scoring champion. She won all these trophies with the Houston Comets in the early WNBA history. And well, Andrew Jones recognizing that legend that Cynthia Cooper is and meeting her at Springfield this weekend at the Hall of Fame. There's Billy Donovan, coach of the Bulls, sitting with Andrew Jones's daughter in his lap. So congratulations to Billy Donovan on being inducted to the Naismith Hall of Fame. There you go. Beautiful stuff. And then Andrew Jones's daughter is singing to the bees outside. She's funny. She's singing to the bees. Like, what are you doing out there? I'm singing to the bees, Dad. is what she said. Okay. Jacoby Walter as offensive Ohio State defensive player of the game on blast. So he's putting on blast some football player that did really good as Riley Pettijohn of Ohio State. Is a friend of Jacoby's. So he put them on blast. Grady Dick, and this was mistakenly thought that Grady got married yesterday. Trevor was like, Grady got married yesterday, and Monique had to correct him. No, Grady's brother, Riley Dick, got married yesterday. And Grady and Carla were there, dressed in the finest of clothes. Nice wine dress for Carla. And Scott Grady wearing the very normal tuxedo. Where's the red Dorothy suit? Grady Dick. Why didn't you wear that draft day suit to your brother's wedding too? You could have wore that ruby suit, man. But you wore a classy James Bond regular old black tux. And that's what he did. Shaken, not stirred. That's right. There you go. Look at the lovebirds. Grady, you're next. You better hope Carla didn't catch the bouquet. Grady Dick, did Carla catch the bouquet? Yeah, congratulations to Riley Dick and his bride Gracie. So yeah, beautiful newlyweds in Kansas going down. That's the wrong Dick, Trevor. That's a different Dick that got married. Sorry, that was not classy what I just did. That was a low bearing fruit joke. Yeah, I know. Morris Peterson is on the football field for Michigan State. The alumni, the Flintstone, is out there wearing his national champion OG hat. And yeah, cool to see Morris living his best life with Snoop Dogg and getting on the field with his alma mater, the Flintstones. That's right. There you go. Norman Powell's got a very attractive woman wearing his gear on his Instagram stories. You can go check that out. And Jamal McGlure is celebrating stuff from the Hall of Fame also. Of course, Jamal McGlure is Heat Nation to a degree also. So he really does embrace people like Chris Bosh and Goran Dragic. And he is doing that. Michael Redd getting into the Basketball Hall of Fame because of Redeem Team. He was on Redeem Team. So Michael Redd, in some ways, he's a guy I'm really kind of happy he got in the Hall of Fame because he's an unsung kind of player that's forgotten in the shuffle. Somebody who would never, ever be in the Hall of Fame without being on the Redeem Team. So that's pretty cool, man, that Michael Redd made it. I'm kind of cool with that. And there's Chris Bosh's speech. It's kind of goofy, man. You already did a Hall of Fame speech, bro. Why did you get up there and do another one? There's so many people on this team. You should have been like, I already did a speech, man. All y'all other guys, you go ahead and get up there and get my time. But nah, Chris Bosh is greedy and his stupid ass shit. Also, Tayshaun Prince. This is crazy because this is what I'm saying. All those guys on Redeem Team, Carlos Boozer, Michael Redd, Tayshaun Prince, they got in the Hall of Fame. And in some cases, you could make for Tayshaun Prince to get in the Hall of Fame because of his Detroit Pistons championship with Ben Wallace and Rip Hamilton. But yeah, it's kind of cool that Tayshaun Prince is now an NBA Hall of Famer. It's kind of crazy, man. Basketball Hall of Fame, Tayshaun Prince. There's your Instagram stories real quick. The Hall of Fame ceremony is really kind of the story right now. Raptors Reddit reactions. Let's see what's going on. They have 55% off Raptors Nike 2024-2025 Signet City Edition Swingman jerseys on Fanatics. So if you guys want to get a half price City Edition from last year, the Vince Carter logo jersey, you do it right now because you can get them really cheap right now. That's what they're saying on Reddit right now. That's right. That's right. Let's see what else is going on. They're talking about Georgia beating France. Yeah, that's pretty much the same shit from yesterday. Nothing new there. All right, let's keep going. Happy birthday to John Thomas. Former Raptor John Thomas turned 50 today. John Thomas played for the Raptors in 115 games, and he averaged 2.8 points per game. He played for the Raptors from 1997 to the year 2000. So happy birthday to a former Raptor, John Thomas. Do you guys remember John Thomas, power forward? Power forward John Thomas. Do you remember that guy? That's right. Ooh, 56%. So it's evening out more. Denver is still losing. Carmelo is New York. That's what we're saying right there. That's right. That's right. All right, let's keep going in the chat. Let's see what y'all are saying here. Oh wow, you filled it up even more, man. Let's see. Milbester saying Lex, Nate Robinson's back in the dunk contest. Back then was Matt McClung of today. Yeah, he was. He was that little guy. I hope that Nate Robinson is having better health outcomes at this point. I know he's had some health scares in recent years and different things. I only wish the best to him. Bless Nate Robinson, and I hope that his health is up top notch right now. That's what I'll say to that. Kareem saying, I used to go to a strip club called I Don't Knows. So when your significant other asks where you are, you say, I don't know. No, there's a place in Tallahassee that was called the Late Night Library. Yeah, the Late Night Library, but it was a club. And you could say the same thing. It's like, where'd you go? The FSU students would go to Late Night Library late at night and be like, I'm at the Late Night Library. Oh, okay. So you're studying. Yeah, mom, I'm studying at the Late Night Library. No, they were at the club. It's a similar thing. It's like a similar thing, man. Trevor's saying, Seymour, how big is the breast and tie? What? What are you talking about? You talking about at the strip club? Oh my gosh. These are off the chain questions here, Trevor. Off the chain questions here. Are they natural? Are they genetically enhanced? I don't know. Seymour saying the building is in looks ways too. It don't look like a restaurant, fam. Not gonna lie. It looks kind of like dingy or a little scummy. It looks like it's a little ill repute. It kind of looks like a strip club from the outside. Would James Harden, if he went to Calgary, try and walk in there? That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering right there, man. Blackhawks saying every so often someone will come around and revitalize the dunk contest with energy. That's all is needed. VC did it for me. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Milbester's right to a degree about Dwight Howard. You know, he did kind of revitalize the dunk contest right around that time with the Superman outfit. A little bit. But if we're talking about revitalizing the dunk contest, I mean, Michael Jordan, Vince Carter, Mac McClung, there's certain names that really revitalized it, really like made it exciting again, really made it exciting. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Milbester's saying, lab my ass, UCLA. I'm going to UCLA. UCLA. I'm going to UCLA. 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 I'm going to UCLA. I'm Unk. I'm Unk. I'm Unk. I go to Unk University. It's so crazy. It's weird, man. Let's see. I have Isaiah 9.6 on my arm. There you go. So you know a little bit about what Lloyd is laying down there. Yeah. You believe in Austin 3:16? Yeah, that's a good one right there. That's a good Bible verse. Blackhawks saying Dominique Wilkins, Spurs, Spud Webb, and MJ started the dunk craze for me. Yeah, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins. That's for me. You know, some people are older than me. It's Dr. J, or maybe even like David Thompson. David Thompson was another guy back then. But yeah, Michael Jordan and Dominique. I can remember being in middle school in Tallahassee. And one day in gym class, I think the dunk contests were so good with Michael Jordan that one day in gym class, the gym teacher said, "This is our class today." And he just played like a bunch of dunk contests from the 80s. This was like in 1989 or something like that, 89 or 90. I'm in middle school. And the teacher just says, yeah, no class today. We're going to watch the dunk contest. So we sat down and actually just watched the dunk contests in middle school in class, like the Spud Webb one and the Dominique versus Michael Jordan contests. It was awesome. That was a great day in class, man. It really was. And it was all under the guise of athletics. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Seymour saying Cedric Sabalos was the first dunk off I watched. Not sure how far back that was. Yeah, that's early 90s. Of course, Cedric was famous for wearing the blindfold in the dunk contest, which everybody found out later he could see through. It looked so cool when he did it, though. I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to dunk it blind. But no, he could actually see through the mesh to a degree, which just kind of ruined it. I mean, it was such a weird dunk, man. I remember that. Neil saying you going back to 92 with Cedric. Yeah, that's about right. 92. Cedric Sabalos, 92. And he did win the contest, didn't he, for that dunk with the blindfold on? That sounds about right. That's right. Hey, speaking of this, we should do the classic card. Talking about the classic times. That's right. Blackhawks saying also, hopefully some real NBA talent gets back to winning the dunk contest. We'd like to see the top players get involved. Specifically, you know, this is the deal they need to make with Morant. They need to be like, Morant, you've been fucking up your career, bro. You want to fix it? Go to the dunk contest. Stop fucking around. Seriously, stop fucking around, John Morant. Just go do the dunk contest, you idiot. You're doing those crazy ass dunks in the games and getting hurt. Why not just do them when you won't get hurt? When you're in the middle of an exhibition at the dunk contest at the All-Star weekend. In some ways, Adam Silver would be like, you know what, Ja, you've done such bad things for this league with your your persona and what you've been doing outside of the game. We need you to come in and do some restitution by doing the dunk contest. We want you out there and show them what you do well. You're not sharing your gift with the world like Randolph Phillips has asked. And you need to go and give your gift to the world again, Ja Morant. So you're in the dunk contest this year, no matter what. You have no choice. Wouldn't that be something? And Ja Morant could be like, you know what, Adam Silver? I'm a rebel. I'm going to do your dunk contest. I'm going to win it. But I don't like that you made me do it. You know, that would be an interesting storyline, wouldn't it be? It's like kind of save Ja Morant's career and like who he is and his persona. Oh, he won the dunk contest. Maybe the NBA don't want him to be in the dunk contest because they know he'll get more of a spotlight and even more famous. They're like, yeah, we don't want this guy representing us. There's no way we can let Ja Morant be in the dunk contest. It's good that he doesn't want to do it because if he got more popular, that would make us look worse. That might be true too. Honestly, that might be true right there. Ja Morant, you do the dunk contest. It might be actually very interesting if you did. That's right. It might be very, very interesting. That's right. Milbester's saying Robinson got the kidney transplant. He's good now. It was a while ago. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's right. It was his kidney. Yeah. Trevor's saying James Harden got locked out of the restaurant for non-payment. What? He didn't pay for things and he got locked out of the restaurant. That's good, man. That's probably good for him. People in Clippers like James Harden more because he's not like Kawhi. That's what they're saying. Like a lot of Clippers fans have pivoted like their love for their players to more James Harden away from Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi Leonard is such a frustrating person to them. You know that that's crazy when you are so frustrating to a fan base that people are turning to James Harden instead. That just sounds nuts to me. You must be some sort of crazy, unreliable, or toxic with your Uncle Dennis and this payout thing that Clippers fans are denying you and saying, no, forget about Kawhi. I'm going to focus all my energy on loving James Harden. That's where we're at. That's where we're at right there. Milbester's saying that's another guy that will be in the Hall of Fame with Chris Paul and Kevin Durant. James Harden, yeah. It's likely that those guys all will be in there. Chris Paul, I think Chris Paul deserves it for sure, even though he's never won anything. And in some ways, he's just had a long career. In some ways, he's getting in by thing. But if Chris Paul's getting in, Kyle Lowry needs to be in for sure. Drew Holiday needs to be in for sure. Mike Conley, it's a little borderline on Mike Conley. But those other guys, sure. Drew Holiday's got championships. Kyle Lowry's got a championship. Chris Paul doesn't, but he's got a lot of different other things in some ways. Kevin Durant, he's going to be a Hall of Famer for sure. Absolutely. And James Harden will be too. All right, Fiercey, thank you for my cutoff. Blackhawk saying, I don't see MJ as a revitalizing the dunk contest. I see them as the golden years. You had a 5-year span with Dominique, with MJ and Spud mixed in. Just a fabulous time in dunking history. They weren't the only ones. There were other guys around that era that were absolutely fantastic too, but we all forget about them. There was a guy who played for the Pacers, and I forget what his name is. See, I forgot about who he was that was in those dunk contests back then. He was absolutely amazing. Of course, I mentioned Daryl Griffith earlier in this stream also. There's a lot of guys that got forgotten. Larry Nance, the senior, he was the first dunk champion for the NBA. He won the first dunk competition in NBA history after it moved from the ABA to the NBA. Because the dunk contest was in the ABA before. The NBA didn't have a dunk contest until like 1982 or 83. And that's when they moved it over and Larry Nance took over. But Jordan took it to a new height. I understand what you're saying, Blackhawk, because he's kind of at the very beginning. And in some ways, but Jordan and Dominique, they definitely took it to a new height. That's for sure, man. Seymour saying, Silver, Ja, you're working for free this weekend. Get in the dunk competition. Laugh out loud. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Did they want to rehabilitate Ja Morant's image or they just don't want to risk it? Yo, just play for Memphis. Maybe you'll fall out of the league at some point like Ben Simmons. Seriously. You have all the promise in the world, but you know what? You're a knucklehead. And you're probably going to fall out of the league like Ben Simmons. That's probably what's going to happen right there. Seymour saying maybe Uncle Dennis was talking about a marijuana company. Ain't no way he meant the Leafs hockey team. No, he did. He wanted to buy part of the Leafs. He wanted to be a part owner of the Leafs. That was what he wanted. He didn't want Quine and Dine. No, he didn't want the restaurant stuff. He was going for it all. He wanted part ownership of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I would say, yeah, give it to him. If I was in position, I would say, yeah, Dennis, you could be part owner of the Leafs. But these racist ass people in MLSE were like, hell no, Kawhi's uncle can't be a part owner of the Leafs. They wouldn't let Isaiah Thomas be a part owner of the Raptors Why the hell would they let Uncle Dennis Robertson be a part owner of the Leafs? That's it right there. Blackhawks saying Chris Paul just got in the Hall of Fame last week as part of Team USA. That's right. He's on the Redeem team. He's getting in, but he'll get in as an individual also down the road. I'm pretty sure he will. All right, let's do that classic card we love to do every day on the channel. We'll get a classic basketball card out of the box, the magic box, the basketball box. Thank you, Trevor J. I appreciate you, sir. And we will guess it. And the first person that put the full name answer in will get the classic card points. Who is that? Oh, wow. This is weird. This is really weird, y'all. All right, y'all. Here's the classic card. Once again, we have weird connections that are happening. Signs that are telling me that, well, Lex, the synchronicities are showing that you're on the right track. There is your classic card. It's not very classic, but it is so weird because just 2 minutes ago I said something. It's really crazy here. All right, who is that? This is not a classic card. This is a pretty recent card. So go ahead and look at this shiny NBA Hoops card and tell me who you think that is. That's right, Larry Nance Jr. What did I just say? That's so crazy, man. I did not pull this card. I pulled it randomly. I did not see it. Larry Nance Jr. is the classic card of the day after I just talked about Larry Nance Sr. That's so weird, man. Seymour's getting the classic card today. Larry Nance Jr. We're talking about classic dunk competitions. Why not have it Larry Nance Jr.? Why not? Jeez. This is so weird, man. Seymour, you're on fire today, man. You get all the dunks and you got the classic card today. You're having a Monday, bro. Go buy a lottery ticket, man. Seriously, go buy a lottery ticket today. Seriously. I'm telling you, you got the luck. You got something good going right now. All right, I'm going to give you a 250 even. Yeah, no, wait, he's not that hard. It's 100. It's 100. It's 100 for Larry Nance Jr. today. That's right, 100. Yeah, your cousin's a Cavs fan. He watched Larry Nance Sr. That old Cavs team was interesting with Brad Daugherty and Mark Price and Ron Harper Sr., Craig Elo, Steve Kerr, Winston Bennett, Chucky Brown. Yeah, Randolph Keys. I'll start throwing all the old Cleveland Cavaliers players out, like all their names from back then. John Morton. Yeah, Hot Rod John Williams. Look out, Lex. Look out. Brad Daugherty was he's a drag race guy. He's actually going to be on the NBC broadcast. You're going to hear Brad Daugherty, former Cavalier, calling NBC games as a color guy on the broadcast. He's not going to be in the studio. He's going to actually be calling the games. So it's pretty cool, man. So you'll hear Brad Daugherty there. Yeah. Yeah. Seymour's saying, why is he shooting? He could not shoot. He could not shoot? Who? Oh, Larry Nance? I don't know why he's shooting on that card. I guess you have to shoot sometimes, Ben Simmons. I guess you do. Milbester's saying he was a huge fan of Mark Price in the 90s. Back then, Price was the best three-point shooter who lived. Yeah, he was the best free throw shooter, too. That man shot the highest percentage of free throws every year he played in the NBA almost. I mean, he was like a 95% free throw shooter. It's insane, man. He barely ever missed free throws. That was the two things I remember about Mark Price. Also, the three-point shooting, the free throws, then he was a very solid point guard. He set up the guys on his team very well, and he played the position exactly as it was supposed to be. So, which is, in some ways, there's not point guards playing point guard exactly, but he was balancing point guard with actually getting scoring himself because he was an exemplary shooter also. So, in some ways, he's along the lines of Isaiah Thomas, John Stockton. At that time, those three were probably the most prototypical true point guards in the league at that time. Although Isaiah was very much scoring a lot himself too, really. But Mark Price could do that too, man. He could do that too. Trevor J saying 2 people in Texas win the Powerball $1.6 billion. That sounds crazy to me. Man, they need to redistribute that money back in the education system of Texas. Stop giving so much money out. Maybe take the 0.6 of the billion and give the billion back to the schools. Seriously, where's the priorities these days? Fund the schools, fund the hospitals, public health care, public education. That's what we want. That's right. Seymour saying, if Markkanen leaves Utah, watch out. About to take off. Lauri Markkanen goes to another team. He's going to be very good. Some people in Spurs Nation are saying, man, we should have got Lauri instead of Thad Young. Blackhawks saying, I hope DeLon Wright gets picked up this season. Isn't he on the Knicks? He's still on the Knicks, right? Wasn't he on contract, or is he a free agent? Nobody's picking him up, like Precious. It's getting closer. These guys who are not on teams right now, they should be sweating. Seriously, they should be sweating. 1.6 blood clot. Yeah, some of that money needs to go back. All right, on the poll, guys, it's official. New York, Mellow, 56%. Denver at 44%. I'm sorry, Kareem. And in the poll right here, Milbester has won this poll, and 56% of y'all, that's 5 out of the 9, say that Mellow is more New York than Denver. Well, there you go. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. That's right. You can keep the 1 billion and give me the 0.6. Yeah, seriously. That 0.6 is like millions of dollars in itself. It's crazy. A billion is something that people do not understand. There really truly should not be billionaires. Seriously. I'm not anti like people having good things in their lives, but billionaires just disgusting, gross hoarding. And you're a psychopath. If you're a billionaire, you're a psychopath. Honestly, you shouldn't have that much money. So get rid of it. Be like Mackenzie Bezos and give that shit back. Because honestly, you having that so much money, you be me like Dolly Parton and start giving that money back. Dolly Parton could be a billionaire, but she's not because she's given most of her money away and she still lives a very comfortable life. It's just psychopaths to do this wealth hoarding, like these idiots like Ed Rogers III. Psychopaths. You guys are psychopaths, the oligarch billionaire class. Psychopaths. I'm just going to call you what you are. That's right. All right, y'all, let's finish it up. We're talking about Sandro Mamu in Georgia beating France yesterday. The next game will be against Lauri Markkanen and Finland on Wednesday morning. Let me see what time the game is. The game on Wednesday will be at 10 a.m. in the morning. 10 a.m. So yeah, it'll be coming on during our stream on Wednesday. We're not going to do a watch along though. I should think about doing watch along though. It just hasn't gone well the last couple times. I don't know. Either way, I'm not going to do it. So 2 of the games are on Tuesday. Lithuania and Greece will be tomorrow, and Turkey, Poland will be tomorrow. And then the Wednesday games will be Germany, Slovenia, and Finland, Georgia. So Sandro Mamu and Goga, and win some more and get further. That's right. That's what we want to see. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching the Rapid Freak stream today. A little bit of extra time, a half hour over. I appreciate everybody. Tomorrow we'll do Tuesday trivia. I'll get the questions written up this afternoon. And so be ready with your trivia caps for 9:30 Tuesday morning. You know how it is. You know how we roll on this channel. We got trivia tomorrow. That's right. Thank you, Milbester. I'm sorry if I was feisty. I'm sorry if I didn't totally agree with you on everything, but I appreciate your presence and I appreciate your contribution to the stream, Milbester. And I wish you well. I wish you well. All right, guys. Take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, join the channel if you feel like it. You join the channel, you help support my channel, and you also get access to our private Facebook group run by the superfan Monique Lawrence. And you also get access to our Discord server where we do private watch-alongs of watching games. Maybe that's where we'll watch along something coming up soon. Who knows? I mean, come on in there. Yeah. He's saying Lex, and yeah, it had all Alomar on that Jays team too. Ridiculous. Hopefully the Jays win this year for Toronto, that is. Yeah, that team was so good, man. Joe Carter, Roberto Alomar, Paul Molitor, John Olerud. Yeah, Pat Borders. That's another guy you didn't even mention. Pat Borders was a very crucial player in the Blue Jays World Series both those years. Pat Borders was huge for us. Huge for us. That's right. Yeah, October preseason is near. Postseason. October preseason, October postseason. I see preseason in October. This is the NBA, baby. Let's go, Raptors. Woo, Sandro.